want to marry her, but you are reluctant to proceed with the next steps. No dates, no plan to meet parents. No, so you are generally sending mixed signals. Women hate it when you send mixed. You frustrate them. Women like security. They need to know: am I here or am I there? Am I moving forward or am I not moving forward? So try to make sure you are sending clear signals. Let your words and your actions always match. If you say I'm going to marry you, let's see it in your steps today. If you say you're the only one, let's see you cut off from
hey
all
guys, good evening.
You need to
I'm listening to Pastor Kingsley.
Women don't do well with mixed signals.
Pastor Kingsley is my new crush.
Mixed signals. We are saying you are very important to me. She needs to see it in how you spend your time.
He's my new crush, so I'm listening to him. I always listen to him because the man, they make serious sense. Good evening. Welcome, 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 everyone. You've been waiting. Oh, okay. I'm right on time, though. I wasn't late. I don't think I was late. It was set for 7, and I literally just logged in. It's just 7 now. This is 7:01. So, yeah, we are good with time. Hooray! Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I see all of you. I see you in the comment section. I welcome you, Bridget. Thank you. Namesake, Jesse, Emmy, Gibson. Thank you, all of you, for joining me tonight. It's going to be a hot topic today. It's a hot one. We've already started the conversation. Wes, hello. You're welcome. Wes, I have issues with you. I have beef with you. I saw your comment on my last video, and we are going to discuss that, your comment. That what you wrote there. I have beef. I have beef with you today. We're going to get to it in a minute. You're all welcome. Good evening. How is everyone doing? I hope you're all keeping well. You're keeping safe. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I guess we know why we are here is to follow up on my topic on come on, sisters. My uncle ladies, you're welcome. It's to follow up on my last video, so I'm just going to jump right into it. Apologies if I don't shout you out. I acknowledge you. I thank you. I appreciate you. Please give this video a thumbs up as you are jumping on. Give it a thumbs up, and make sure that if you are not yet subscribed, that you are subscribed to our channel. So let's get right into it because I've got quite a lot to say, and as always, it's going to be an interactive session. I want people to join me. I want us to have a chat. Yeah, it's not just going to be me doing all the talking because I don't like talking alone. I mean, the people that are calling, for those of you that have called in or that have joined me when I do my live streams, you know that, oh God, there are so many people out there who know much more than I do, and their wisdom cannot just be lost. We need all that wisdom because it's going to be like a learning environment. I want to make it a learning environment. So some few grand rules, because I know a lot of people have something to say. Especially we ladies, when we got something to say, we cannot wait. We become very passionate and we want to just want to put it out there. Let's try and respect one another's opinion. Even if you disagree, let's disagree respectfully. This is not about bashing anybody. Somebody was accusing me in that video, the last one about the SOS one, where I said that we need dads. Somebody was saying that oh, this men bashing has to stop. But I don't think I bashed anybody in that video. Some people don't watch the video. They don't actually watch it. They just see the title and they jump to make comments. Sometimes I know people who don't watch because when they make comments and the comment is even not relating to what was said in the video, I know they just see the title and they just jump on it. So yeah, let's try and respect one another's view. We are here to learn from one another because these are issues that affect us as Africans in the diaspora. So thank you, every single one of you. Now, let's get to it. So in my next video, I talked about how we have an issue. It's a pandemic inside a pandemic that we have in Africa community, Africa in diaspora, and Africa in Africa. I said it was a really massive issue that we need to look into. We need to find out what is going on. and look at it critically, analyze it, what is going on, why are there so many absentee fathers? We have so many absentee fathers who are not present in their children's life. Quality fathers, they are lacking very, very much so here in the diaspora and in Nigeria. First of all, before I go into that comment that led to this discussion, I just want to say, me as a person, I don't have any dislike or any fixed, ideas or bias against brothers. I love my brothers. I celebrate my brothers when they are doing well. When they are not doing well, we say, okay, you can do better. So this is not about, and I always appreciate any man that comes on to my show, especially the ones that contribute. Some from afar will just say, that woman, one woman told me one time that the husband said he doesn't like me. And I'm like, what did I do? I think he was afraid that I will open the wife's eye. May she not go tear eye. Say, this woman, she too open eye. May not go spoil my wife. So he told her not to watch my channel. I say, aha, you see where the problem is? He's already directing you on what you can do or what you cannot do. That's to tell me, okay, that's why I'm on the mountain. I say, I better go. I know they for while. I don't want anybody to say, is obodoyibo, that's why my marriage. I am not here to spoil, I'm here to repair. We're here to learn, to share information and knowledge, and to grow, to be better. Because no matter how much you know, you can always be better. You can always do better, and we can grow. We can learn. I'm learning a lot from you guys, and I believe that you guys are learning from one another and from me as well. So yeah, it's one community. And I want to give a very massive shout out to all the brothers who are doing well, because it's not all brothers, it's not all men. All African men in the diaspora in Nigeria that are pulling their weights when it comes to, child care, raising children, raising well-balanced children, those who are involved in their lives, who read to them, who talk to them, who share their hearts with their children. I just want to give you a big shout out. 3 bosa for all of you. Yeah, bosa, bosa. I salute. I salute. So it is very, very important that we acknowledge the brothers that are doing it. I actually have a brother here, a cousin of mine. He's an excellent father. He's such a warm human being. His children, even though that, his older children are even older. The last one, because there was a big gap between the two, his son, his daughter, and then the last one. You will see him still doing school runs. My cousin will leave work to go and pick his son from school. He's he's a good father. I've seen him done so many things. He'll tell me, when I phone him, he'll say, oh, I'm taking my son to football. I'm taking my son to the barber. He took his son the other day. He was telling me, say, just me and him. The youngest one, oh, this boy is around maybe eight or so. Either 8, maybe not even up to 8, like 7 or 8. He told me, he said, my sister, I'm in a shopping mall. I'm in this shopping mall. What's it called again? Blue Water. He said, I'm in Blue Water with my youngest son. I was like, wow, what are you guys doing? He said, he came to buy clothes, and it's just me and him hanging out. If you see as the things fit my belly, I said, God, my uncle did a good job with this one, because I don't know. He's an exemplary father. So a big shout out to all the fathers who are pulling in the weight, doing their work. If you're a good father, you know yourself. If you're not a good father, you know yourself. That's just the truth. We all know. As parents, similar to mothers. If you're a good mother, you know. If you're not a good mother, you know. So our conscience has a way of telling us the truth that we don't want to face. So yeah, a big shout out to all the brothers like my cousin who is doing well. So this is the comment. This brother on that video, my last video about parenting, about brothers or men who are not involved, said, well, let the world reap what it has sown. When the system has emasculated men to the point that they are so lost in space. They are so lost in space. Guys, follow me. Yeah? How can they be what you want them to be? He's asking. He said the system has emasculated them. So the key word for me in that statement is emasculated. And then it goes on to say, yes, one can say no excuse for absenteeism. It's talking about that's the absent. But he said, let the word system, matriarchal and manipulative ways place see what they have caused. Yeah, I think that's the full part of it. I can't see it because of this banner that is running here. Let me take that banner off. Yeah, let them see what they have caused. Yeah, that's what he said there. So the words that stand out for me in this statement is about, he said brothers are being emasculated by the system. And he's saying that in Obodoyibo, basically African men is a matriarchy system. You know, when you say there's it's patriarchy in Africa, he is making an argument that it's matriarchy in the diaspora, that brothers are being emasculated. So I put this on my I put this on my Instagram. If you are not following me on Instagram, you better do. We have a lot of conversation there as well. I put this on my Instagram and some ladies were like, we got something to say. We have to say something about this. And then one actually said, Auntie B, you've got to do a live video. This is it. She said, hi, Bridget, well done for the work that you are doing. And just wondering if you can do a YouTube program on fathers. I mean, live video. I have a feeling that it will make a huge difference in terms of how fathers can be involved in the lives of their children. I don't know how you can facilitate it, but I'm sure God will lead you. Take care and stay blessed. Peace, said that. So I took it on board. Yeah, I took that on board and I felt like, okay, this brother has raised some very valid points, although a lot of people will say that he's trying to make his excuses if you don't want to be involved, because he himself said it, that there's no reason for absenteeism. If a father is absent, there's no reason. But he did say something that really struck me, and I wanted to talk about it. Is the system in the West, in the abroad, is it emasculating men, or is it that men are just struggling, African men are struggling to adapt to a different society that is different from where we come from? That's my question. Are brothers being emasculated by Obodoyibo systems? What we have in the diaspora, i.e., people say the laws favor women more. Does that emasculate men? And before I go further, I've got a few descriptions here because I like to do my homework, guys. I like to do my homework. So I started checking out the word because I didn't want us to misunderstand it. To emasculate, what does it mean? It means to deprive a man of his male role, his role as a man, or his identity, to deprive him of that role. You know, that's what being emasculated means, depriving a man of his male role or identity. That is what it means. And it further on goes to say, making someone or something weaker or less effective. So is living in the diaspora making African brothers weaker, less effective? Are we the Obodoyibo African women that live in the diaspora depriving brothers, African brothers? I have to relate this to African brothers because a lot of people were making comments about their experience with other women, like Caucasian women. I can't go into that because that is not my channel, what my channel is all about. So are we depriving them of their role and identity? Is it society? Because this is what this brother was saying, that they are being emasculated. Emasculated means depriving somebody, or a man, of his male figure, his identity. Yeah, we're making is the system, or are they being less effective as a result of the system, as a result of the power that women have in this part of the world? I don't see it as power, I see it as equal opportunity. The reason why personally I feel that a lot of African brothers, not all of them, see it as women being empowered is because women are so powerless in Africa. Women are so powerless in Africa. So now that we come to a society where women actually have rights, women have a voice, women have support, the man, some man or some brothers will see it as being empowering women, making women stronger, which is not a bad thing, to be honest. It's not a bad thing, depending on how you are seeing it, or depending on, how it is being used, because let's not forget that sometimes it can be abused. Some women do abuse it as well. So the argument is neither here nor there. So the question we're asking is that, are brothers being emasculated in the diaspora? Is that why they are less effective in their role as fathers? Yeah, I'm going to come to your comments. Tony. Oh my God, some people are already hot. Okay, some people are already hot in the comment section. Samantha is saying they are depriving themselves unless you are being physically restrained. There is nothing stopping them from being the men they want to be. Okay, all right, we are going to get into all this in a minute, guys. But I want to quickly I want to show you a few things before I come to the comments. So this is what our brother was saying. And this is one of the comments I found very interesting. Somebody said we should address the issue of women that deny men their right to be involved. So that person is saying that because of the empowerment of women, the rights of women, or being the systems favoring women, that some women take opportunity or they use that to stop men. Especially we're talking about when they don't pafuka, they are not together anymore. Let's say a man and a woman are separated or they are divorced. That some women use it to capitalize, not allowing the man to have access to the woman. Like I said, I find this very, very strange with African women. I don't know, I cannot say never. But the only example that I got from my YouTube channel, that's the last video, the man wrote this long thing about how his friend went to court. He's a Nigerian man. He went to court to go and fight to have access to his children, but no, you boy marry, not be African woman marry. So that's completely different. The dynamics are different. We are talking about African men, African women, or black men, black women. So because we never know the ins and outs of why Oyibo will deprive you of seeing your children. I don't know that. What I'm saying is that when it comes to our community, I struggle to see any woman that will say you must not see your children because, oh, you left me for another woman, or because our marriage has ended, or because I'm not happy with you, or for one reason or the other. No, I don't know. I'm not saying they don't exist. If you guys know, please tell me. I would like to hear from you people. I will share my link in a minute. Once I run through this commentary, I'll share my link so that, we can have that conversation. I struggle to see how African women, because women always want men that can help with their children. It's their children, no? So why would you want to deprive them? Why would you want to deprive them? I don't know. If it does happen, I would like to know. Yeah? Okay. Right, let's move on. So that's one of the issues. Somebody said that women are depriving men, and then I've got another one here. Somebody else said that men in the diaspora have been made boys by the system. This is the second time somebody is blaming the system. Yeah? The system. They've been made boys by the system and often lack the information to make mental adjustments in a foreign land. Also, please don't compare us to white men. Our situation is unique. Running away from home to a place where you are not wanted to make a better life. Mentally taxing. We need to be brutally honest, patient with ourselves, and have constructive solutions. We are all suffering from post-traumatic, I think he means stress there, post-traumatic stress syndrome. So this brother raised issues about, again, the system in the foreign land, and then he made the assumption to think that everybody that's living in Africa is running away from home. Some people did not run away from home. Yeah, some people did not run away. It's not everybody that is here because they are running away from home, and it's definitely not everybody that's suffering from post-traumatic stress. If you are not a real asylum seeker, or you are not really running from your life, or you are not one that is trafficked. I don't know why you would say that. A lot of us are running away from a place, running from home to a place we are not wanted for a better life. No. I know it is mentally taxing. I won't deny that. And I agree that we should have constructive solutions, and that's why we are talking about it today. But I disagree that everybody is running away from home. There's an assumption that a lot of people make that everybody who comes in diaspora is because Nigeria or Africa is so bad. Someone like me, even today, as long I have lived in the UK for as long as I have done, I keep looking back and asking myself, did I make the right decision? Because I went to Nigeria the other day. I saw my friends, they are all big women. No joke. In fact, I went to a friend's house, and by the time I left Nigeria, we were on the same level at work. Yeah, we all have one houses. Now she has 3 houses. And the latest house that she has, when she took me there, guys, I have never seen a house as beautiful as that house. It has 4 living rooms, 9 bedrooms, a swimming pool, boys' quarters, children yard where you can play. She has everything in that house. So please, don't, you people should not assume that everybody is running from home. I didn't run from home. Oh. I did not. I only came here because of marriage. I didn't run from home. Maybe I would have been better off if I was in Nigeria financially. So I just want to put it out there for people that always assume that everybody that is here is running away from home. Right. That's another point there. Somebody else said I should blame it on the excesses of women's movement. So, women's movement. So I suppose it's talking about feminism. Is feminism why men are feeling emasculated? Yeah, I think I've covered most of them now. Yeah, I have covered it down. So I'm going to come to your comments. Women's movement. They say we should blame it on the women's movement. That's why men are feeling emasculated. I would really, really love to hear from men and women, but mostly from men. If you're a man and you feel like you are feeling emasculated by the system, because we've heard the system now, I want to know, why are you feeling emasculated by the system? Kilode, what's happened to you? Give me examples. Because sometimes when you have examples, then you can understand. When people talk broadly like that, it's vague. Nobody knows what you're talking about. Yeah. It's a choice to leave your country for a better life. And leaving your country, Jumoke, does not even mean that you're going to have a better life. It's not everybody that left their country in Africa to come to Obodo that have a better life. So that's another assumption. It's not everybody. Some people come here and have a better life. Some people have more better life there before they came here. You understand? So I don't like people just assuming that everybody is running. Somebody came for me the other day and was saying that, hey, you that ran away from Nigeria, you ran away to the... Who told you I ran away? Do you know my story? You know my situation? I was good. I was doing very well in Nigeria. I was good. So please, people should stop making such assumptions, Jare. Let's get on with it, my people. Right. Are women being in are women and the system? Because I know when people are talking about women, they are talking about the system, but women, they among that system. Oh, Western society, Black women, are we emasculating the men? Is that why they are less effective as parents? Is that why they are not involved in their children's life? I want to know. I'm going to share my link now so that if anyone wants to join me, you guys know how we do. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to, but if you have an opinion, I want to hear it. Let's talk. Let's talk. So many issues there. Somebody said that some women are denying men who want to be involved in their children's life the access to it. If you have an example, I want to hear it. Tell me about it. I want to know. Somebody said, I don't believe in the system problem. Chelsea, you don't believe in the system problem. We should ask ourselves, what happened? Why was this law created in the first place? Yeah, they are saying that the system is emasculating the men. African brothers, yeah. Call in, use the link. I posted the link in my comment section. Yeah, we want to hear from you. Barry, I've got a guy here, and he is saying that, let's be clear, the system is more favorable towards the women. Hence, some women have taken advantage of it. Okay. That is what Barry is saying, that system is more favorable to women. I will argue that the system is equal. The reason why people think it's favoring women in the diaspora is because in Africa, it's a patriarchy society and women don't, the rights are not even promoted at all. Okay. When you say that the system favors the women, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? It's partly true. Balaji is saying, Balaji, you are here. Okay, Balaji, please join me. I want to hear from you. What do you mean? I want people to explain. Give me examples. If you have friends, your family members that have been victims or that suffered from this society that is matriarchy and favors women, and as a result, making men emancipated. They are emancipated, emasculated, sorry. Our African brothers are saying that the system is making them emasculated. So what are the issues? Is that why they cannot be in their children's lives? I want to find out. Yeah, I've got someone already. Divine, I'm going to add you now. Somebody say it depends on where the marriage is. Some ex-couples use their children as battle weapons once the relationship has broken down. Okay, that's a point there. Hello, Divine.
Hi, Bridget. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Thanks for joining me.
Finally caught you online for the first time. I feel like I always miss up some of the meetings that are going on. But yeah, so I'm actually calling in from the US. And I think, some of the points you actually brought up are like very good points. I don't think there's a system that, in the West per se is uplifting women better than men. It's actually an equal system. And then when you start to realize that you've lived in a society such as Nigeria, for instance, where men are technically favored more than women, then you start feeling, oh, this equality to some degree makes me feel like I'm lower. And that's not necessarily true. So I think that, like, for instance, I've actually seen some men that, grew up in Nigeria and they come here for their studies, yes, and they do the dishes themselves. So when they get married, they start expecting they're like shared responsibilities that they actually would do before becomes an issue. So I think it's just, it's more of the culture and the environment that we're growing up to think that, this is expected of someone else to do. And then when you're being told, hey, we're living in an equal society now where you have to participate 50-50, then it becomes an issue when you're saying, oh, I feel like I'm being endangered, or like it's so I feel like I'm being maltreated. Like, these are my rights, but it's actually an equal rights for both of you.
It's equal rights, and this is coming from a man. Oh, I wish I can hug you. You said something that just made my mind so happy, because if I say this, people will chop my head off and say I'm favoring women. I try to have a balanced view, right? But we know, Divine, I can see you, Balaji. Barry, I've got you. Please bear with me a minute. Divine, in Africa, we use customs. And the other day, we talked about some of the very harmful cultural practices that people use just to keep women down. And so just by being born a male in Nigeria or anywhere in Africa, you feel very empowered because of the very harmful and some very customs that are just not fair. So a man is born with that strength, that power, and he grows up always feeling superior to even the sisters. Let's even forget about marriage. Growing up, you feel like, oh, I'm a man. So, for instance, when there's cooking going on, you're not going to go in the kitchen to go and help your mom. Your mom will not even expect you to help. They'll rather, except in some few cases where the moms are like, no, I'm not having it. But the sister is expected to cook. She's expected to wash his plate, his clothes, and do everything for him. So the system, or let's say the custom in Africa, suppresses women. So when most men grow up in that environment and they come to the diaspora, it seems like that power has been taken away from them, even though it's just a fair playing ground for everyone. Do you agree?
Yes, I definitely agree. And because, they don't see that power taken away from them when they're single. It's usually when they get into a relationship, then they start to feel that power. Because all those things that you're saying that you're, emasculated for, you were doing it when you were single. So it doesn't just make sense to then have like that sort of feeling when you go into a relationship.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
enjoyed you're my first caller, and you set the tone already. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. It was nice
Are
talking
you
to you.
married, Divine?
Oh no, not even
You're
close.
not. You're still young. Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna make some woman a very happy husband someday. I can tell.
Thank you. It
Thanks
was
a
nice
lot.
talking to you.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Right. So we had Divine there who set the tone, and we've got Barry. And I'm going to talk to you and talk to Balaji at the same time. Hello. You're welcome, Barry.
Hi, Auntie
Barry.
B.
Hello. You're
Hi.
welcome. Yeah. Can
Thank
you
you.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Go on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. So, my name is Barry. I've been in the US for about 5, 6 years now, and I think the problem here is it's mostly cultural. I grew up in a home where my dad would clean the house. He comes back from work. He was an executive in a bank, a senior executive, but he would come home, clean the house, perhaps even walk into the kitchen and prepare dinner for all of us growing up. This is what I saw, and this did not in any way minimize him, or it didn't make him any less a man. So if a guy feels that a woman has to be subservient, or like she has to minimize herself to feel like a man, then there is a problem there. Now, moving to the US. I'm sorry,
Yes,
about to
sorry,
say
Barry.
something.
I just want to ask you, what tribe are you from in Nigeria?
I'm from the eastern part of Nigeria, but I grew up in Lagos.
So
I
your
was
dad
born
is
and
an
bred
Igbo
in
man.
Lagos. Yes, my dad
Your
is an
dad
Igbo man.
is an Igbo man. Okay, go on.
Yes, a typical Igbo man, but let's just say that he's a little bit exposed. So it basically has to do with the culture, the environment where you grew up in. It has, I don't want to say it has a way, but it shapes, it molds you right from the beginning, the environment where you grew up in. Now, if you decide to hold on to it and not adjust, if you when you find yourself in a new environment, then that's where you probably have a lot of clashes. My ex-wife happens to be an American, and I did help out in the house for the fact that I'm very, very much aware of how to, play the typical African man role, but I knew that that would not work.
It
So
won't
I
work.
decided to
You know it won't
apply.
work.
I knew it would not work at all. That system would not work. It would only cause more issues and all of that. So I grew up seeing a man, my dad cooking and all those things. That did not make me feel any like I would come back from work and do what I need to do as a man. I would help out with my little girl and all of that. So again, I still want to stress that any guy who feels that his wife has to minimize herself in order to feel like a man isn't, with due respect to other guys, isn't a man at all,
So
because
you don't agree that the
women.
system and women is making African men emasculated?
Now the reason why I say for some women have taken advantage of the system, because the
Right.
system here is favorable towards the ladies. For a perfect example, let me give myself as a perfect example. um
Right.
I'm putting my business out here now, but so let me just put it. uh, I woke up one morning, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my ex-wife just decided to call the cops for absolutely no reason. The cops came into the living room, didn't say a single thing to me. They just like walked towards her. Are you okay? Blah blah blah. They didn't even ask me. They just like, hey, they just took me away, just like that. So, and a lot, I have seen that play out in a lot of even black homes, like black American homes, because I worked in an organization where a lot of black men were falsely accused because somebody, a lady, just said something false,
Right.
and that completely derails the guy's life. And I have listened to a lot of your shows, and I'm pretty sure you have also heard about instances like this. So let's not let's not just sweep it under the carpet. It is there. I respect women. I love women very, very much. So that's
So
that's
you
my
didn't do
take on this.
anything. There was no domestic violence. You didn't hit her. There was no argument.
Zero.
She just called the cops.
Zero. She just called the cops. I just guess she was just tired of the
She
relationship. And
wanted
besides,
you
they were,
out.
and yeah, she wanted out. And basically, family influences because I'm black and she's white.
Okay.
Yeah, and all that
She's
stuff.
white. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I mean, if you want out, I don't understand. You can just tell the person you are no longer interested. Why do you need to bring the
Believe me.
cops in and
Believe
give
me.
somebody a record for
With
no reason?
again, with all due respect to women, there are some women who their heads are not screwed on
Yeah, but
right.
we're talking, Barry, we are not talking about Caucasian women. We're talking about African women.
Generally, I feel
Yeah.
women generally around the world are the same. I treat a white woman with respect at the same way I'll treat a black woman. Women are women. So I'm not looking at she's a white woman, she's a black. If I see a black, even the black ladies that I work with at the hospital here, I treat them with respect. I talk to them with respect. Anybody, even my 5-year-old daughter, I treat my 5-year-old daughter with respect. I talk to her. I apologize to her when I'm wrong. So that's basically it. It's not balanced. The system is not balanced. So if we should put it, life no balance. If I
no balance. Life no balance.
It's
true.
So they could just leave her like that.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Barry.
No problem.
Have a good evening. Yeah.
And you too.
Thank you. Yeah. So we got Balaji.
Hello.
Hello, Balaji. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
All the ladies in my comment section are saying, you look very serious. You look very serious. I don't know why.
I'm just finished, got through a hard way at work already. So that's
I'm sorry. You look tired. You look tired. Okay. All right. You're welcome. Thanks for joining in. Yeah.
Stumbled on this topic right now, and I would say the system is not is balanced to me. To me, it's not favorable at one party or the other party. To me, I think it's the same for on a level playing ground for the men and the women, right? But I think you just said it all. You just said what I was about to say. The last caller just said it all. I think it depends on the man coming from Africa. That I mean, our upbringings.
Yeah.
Muslim. I'm Yoruba. I'm from the Muslim Yoruba part of. I grew up in a family that look. My sisters clean the house, prepare the food and whatever. So it's like the general view for Yoruba Muslim is that the men are just there. When they finish cooking, they bring the food to me, and I grew up like that. Like that. But later on in life, my mother, she's late now. My mother taught me that look, although your sisters make the food and all that, but you can take good part in the general well-being of the keeping of the house. So she taught me things when I was growing up then, like sweeping, cooking, and I did learn from it, and which is paying off for me right now.
Right.
When I went out. So what I'm thinking about is that most men that complain of being emancipated outside of Africa into the system is like they are used to that cultural.
Women.
Yeah. So once they're out of that comfort zone in Africa and come here to live in a fairly gay system with their spouses or whatever, they tend to get insecure. So the word for me is insecure. So
was your father involved when you were growing up? Was your father doing
my father wasn't involved actually. I was more close to my mother because my father had, the Muslim way with polygamous, came from polygamous. So basically I'm much more involved with my mother and my sisters that showed me, look, we can do this for you, but try and learn this as well. Try and learn how to make this. So I took to the lessons, and to me it's really fun to me, it's really fun and interesting when I do things with my wife or my girlfriend, you know. For me, it's part of the romance, you know. But some friends of mine that I talk to here, they say, Balaji, why do you have to clean the house with your wife? Why do you have to cook with her in the kitchen? But I actually tell them that it's actually part of romance. Romance doesn't have to do with kissing and all that, but that's part of it.
So they ask, why are you doing it? Your Nigerian friends will be querying you.
Some friends of mine here, they say, look,
and you wonder how their marriages are going to look like.
Yeah, but I actually tell them that actually doing the house chores for me is nothing. I mean, helping her to cook or slicing up the onions or whatever, it's nothing. It's actually what makes a man sexy, actually, because
thank you so much. This is the kind of men that we want. You know, and do you have kids, Balaji?
No, at the moment I don't have kids.
Okay. If you have kids, I want to believe that you are going to be engaged with them and involved with them as well, and doing activities with them, because it's about parenting that we're talking about.
Yeah, I do intend to do that, because I don't see anything wrong in doing things with my spouse or my girlfriend. But on the other angle, because I've seen cases here, because you said you wanted to see examples. I got one example, just one example. I got a friend of mine. We're like the same. It's my close friends at work, you know. He treated his wife, brought his wife from Nigeria. They're living here good. They settled down. She settled down good, and everything was going fine. After about 2-3 years into the marriage, I don't know what happened. We closed from work, and he got home. He wanted to go in, and suddenly the lock couldn't open. He couldn't get into his house. So he now called me. He said, Balaji, look, I'm in trouble. I said, what's the problem? I don't know what I've done to this lady. I just go home, open the door, and I can't enter. I asked him, do you guys had a fight or what happened? No, we just had a little argument last night, and I thought we resolved it before I went to work this morning. But, you know, he went back home, he got back home in the afternoon from work and couldn't enter his apartment because of that. And what happened was that she called the police on him. For no just cause. Just every couple here has an argument. We don't have 100% peace in the relationship. There are sometimes relationship could get rocky, you know. Yeah. It now depends on me, I mean, as a man and the woman, to try and get it back together.
Did they manage to resolve that? Did she manage to open for him later, or was
No. She changed the locks. She changed the locks entirely. So he was trying to get in, knocking on the door, and the girl, when she heard that the noise was too, she called on the police, and the police had to come at that very moment to take the man away.
But was that the end of the marriage?
Yeah, well, they're like separated now. They are separated.
Wow. But did they have kids?
She was looking for an avenue to get away from him.
Yeah.
Then they should have gone through a more concise manner. She doesn't have to change the locks.
Yeah.
But she was I knew them very well. I was very close because it was very nice. He brought him from Nigeria. Very nice. I mean, nice. But I don't know, maybe influence of friends here in the Obodo.
How well did they know her before he married her? He brought her from
Nigeria. They were in college together in Nigeria.
Oh, okay. So it's a long relationship.
It wasn't a relationship of all this Facebook, whatever.
Yeah.
They've been together in college. I mean, they've gone far, but I don't know, maybe influence of friends here, because that plays a part as well. And they mix with people they're not supposed to mix with, and start telling them it's. And there's a lot I've seen here in Europe actually about women taking the issue of social whatever, the social to take away children from benefits and running away with the kids to another country, another European country, just for benefit's sake, you know. Thereby the man loses. So those are things that happen anyway.
Yeah, somebody in the comment section, Nikki Deji, says that there are some levels in some argument. There are different levels. Like your friend may not have considered it. He may have considered it minor, but he may have been verbally abusive, or your friend didn't tell you the whole truth of their situation. It's possible.
Could be because I wasn't there. But I'm just reporting what he told me, because he said they had arguments. Actually, he wouldn't tell me.
Did you hear from her? Did you speak to her?
What?
Did you speak to the wife?
Yeah, I tried getting to talk to her as well, but she couldn't come out with something concise. You know,
she didn't tell you anything.
Okay. Something concise to lead to the fact that I have to change the lock for my husband not to come in.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something between them, because normally I wouldn't there's a limit to it that can go into their relation. But from what he told me, I mean, I don't see any reason why she should change the laws. You know, they could resolve in another manner, not changing the laws for your husband. And now the guy had to rent another apartment, and he's paying mortgage on that same house. So today,
it happens a lot. So, that's a big problem. Yeah.
So I don't know why I'm not into their lives 100% to know what sort of arguments they had. You know, I'm just reporting what I knew. You know, but whatever happens, it shouldn't lead to the fact that you have to change the laws and they call the police on him.
Except there's domestic violence involved.
Exactly. And he told me he never slapped her, he never touched her, he vowed out to me. And I know him very well. We're growing from, I mean, we're kids, we're friends, childhood friends. I know he respects the guy that respects a lot of women. Yeah. So, but
thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Balaji. Lovely to have you, and I appreciate your contribution. Yeah. Have a good evening. Yeah. All the best. Bye-bye. Yeah, I've got Kelly and Buchi here, and we've got God's Glory. God's Glory, please hold on. I see you. Let me just speak to Kelly and Buchi simultaneously, then I'll come to you. Hello, Kelly.
Hi, Bridget. How are you doing today?
I'm all right, sweetie. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad to be able to be here today. I've been following your channel, so I'm so happy to be here to actually contribute to this. I stay in the United States. Good. And in relation to what you've been, discussing, I think just like the previous gentleman mentioned, it's about 50-50, okay, when it comes to relationship here. And mine, I'm divorced right now, almost 6 years. And the issue wasn't that I wasn't raised properly or I wasn't taking care of my own obligation, doing what I'm supposed to do. Yes, my husband married me and brought me here to the States. And I was in that marriage for 24 years. 24 good years. We have 6 children. Okay. But it got to a point where everything was left for me. We live under the same roof, but he's not taking care of his own responsibility. And you know how our culture is. I stayed. I tried my best. You know how they said, oh, when you bring a wife from Africa, they come here, they change, they do this, they do that. It wasn't like that. It wasn't. Yeah. And even when everything was going on, my mom, because my father is late, my mom, my younger brothers, and my older siblings, they were all encouraging me to try to find a way to stay. That was why it lasted for 24 years. It was so miserable. In
fact, you were there for 24 years.
24 good years.
Wow.
I got into that relationship when I was 19. I didn't even know this guy. I never dated him. It was all my mother's doing. Even at that, I worked so hard to make it work. I mean, if I didn't want the marriage to work, I wouldn't be there for 24 years. I wouldn't have 6 children. And while everything was going on, I was the only one doing anything. I was working 2 jobs. I was teaching. I'm also a nurse. I do teaching in the morning. I do nursing at night, even over the weekend. A lot of friends started complaining because it was so much on me. How can a woman do all of that when you have a husband? Even his own childhood friends were trying to tell him, this lady is not going to take this for a long period of time. Even they were very, very shocked it lasted. I did everything humanly possible to make that marriage work. I respected my husband. In fact, I was the one that supported him to bring all his siblings here in the States. But none of mine came over because he's worked against it. See, even when I try to open up what's going on, people would not even believe, except the closer friends.
All the friends that he wasn't contributing financially, was he not working?
That's the thing. This man was making a whole more than me. I was doing 2 professional jobs, but I still don't make enough compared to him. But for some reason, he wasn't doing anything. I was paying every bill. I was covering up for him up until everything was, exploded. And
what was he doing with his money?
I have no idea, but I think he had issue with day trading, and gambling and stuff like that. Okay.
So it was lifestyle. His money was going into lifestyle.
Yes, don't get me wrong. The first 2 years of the relationship was very, very smooth. He was doing what he can. After, well, I was still in college. I haven't finished. You know how school system in Nigeria is. I was being, stay home because of strike for almost a year. So he wanted me to come over. So I came here and I completed my degree here in the States. And then I decided, because after taking care of my dad, because he had stroke, that brought my interest in going into medical field. But because I was having children and all of that in a different environment, I decided to do nursing. So I went back to school. I took on 1 year leave from my teaching job, went back to get my nursing degree. And I was doing everything for this man. I was doing everything for this family. I was doing, see, nobody would believe my story. You know what? This is something that have to be put in a book. I'm writing a book about it. Because nobody believed me because and these are all his close friends though. I didn't know anybody here when I came. Everybody that I knew was through him. So, when friends of his started telling me that he refers to me as his ATM machine, that's the end of it. Okay. How can a wife that stayed with you, respected you, had your back, had 6 children for you, and all of that, and you refer to me as an ATM machine? He knows how to press my button here and there, and money will come out. Okay, everything, like, it was bad. So let me cut the whole story short. Okay, the main reason I'm saying this is I've heard in the past where they said women, once they come to America, they become Americanized or whatever. Okay, in my own situation, when I came here, I work and I give him all the money. Like, he didn't ask for it, because I was taught by my father that as a woman, you're supposed to help your husband and support him. So when I came here, everything I knew about American system is what he told me. So I trusted in him. I trusted him with everything. But 2011, when I decided, you know what, I have to be doing things for myself. I can't be asking for money when I'm working. It's so embarrassing. So when I had that conversation, that's when the problem started. Oh, you're becoming Americanized, this and that. Like, you know what? It was bad. At the point, we're almost put out of the house that we purchased because he wasn't paying the mortgage.
In America.
You wouldn't believe, nobody believed that. It's so shameful, like embarrassing for me to mention that. Even when I tried to go to, there was an incident where I had to go to, that was in November before the Thanksgiving holidays. I went in because I don't have a bank card. He has the bank card. So I wrote a check because the following day the banks will be closed. And I took out $200 from my own account. The next day he was complaining who took out the money. He was so upset. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's my account, like my account. And you have your own, like he forced, not that he forced me, I think he manipulated me into putting him as part of that account so he can monitor what's going on. So I said to him, if not me, then it's got to be you. Nobody else have access to that account. And later, I think the following Monday, we had to go to the headquarters of the same bank to figure out what's going on. And it turns out it was all the checks that he wrote. Because at that time of the year, the banks are beginning to balance out their ledger. So all those checks that he wrote prior to that time, everything was taken out at one point, and that particular account went into red. So he was so upset about it. But then when we figured out where the money went, he could not even apologize to me.
So when the marriage finally ended and you left, what happened? You got 6 whole kids.
Bridget, I got 6 kids, okay, by this man. Anyways, when we separated, it was all about telling stories about me. In fact, let me tell you, he is a full-blown narcissist, okay? He knows how to manipulate. I've come to know him. He will never change. You know what? When that happened, he started to pressure me. We need to find a place. We need to sell the house, this and that, and I have 6 children. I said, where do you want me to take these 6 children? He said, you can take them to under the bridge. I don't really care. That was his statement. And it was these children together with my families that kept me in the marriage. So when he said to me, he doesn't care where I take the kids, that's when I knew I have to go. I have to make that leap. I decided to file for divorce. I'm like, I cannot be in that relationship. Don't get me wrong. He was never, ever physical with me. Absolutely not. But emotionally, psychologically, financially, he did it all.
Yeah,
he did it all. And I think he wouldn't be physical with me because he knows we're in the United States. In fact, when I filed for divorce, he also filed another paper against me just to say that I am violent. Okay, remember, I'm a nurse, I'm also a teacher. So when he came visiting the kids, I got scared because he's he can do anything. I had to call the police. I said, okay, he used to live here, but he lives in another state right now. He filed a lawsuit after I filed for divorce stating that I'm violent. I just want to make sure that he understands the whole situation, because nobody's going to put me in a situation whereby I may have issue with both jobs, okay? And I said, if you want to see his kids, definitely he's free to. Every single time he wants to see the kids, he's free to do all that. But the police came. I quietly explained the situation. I showed them the papers and everything, and they called him. They spoke to him. They said to me, okay, no problem. He can see the kids, but if anything happens, they're like, a call away. I'm like, okay, fine. So I said, okay, go in and do whatever you have to do. I've never, how some people will use their children as bait? It was never, and nothing like that at all. Do you know, as I speak now, he have not even seen these children for almost, it's not like they are little kids anymore. Because and you know how you can hang in because the kids are very little, just to make sure. I didn't want to leave that relationship because I don't want stories to be told and the kids will get confused as they get older. My children were there, they saw it, they experienced it, they heard everything. At this point, there's nobody that would tell my children that your mother was a bad woman or she did this and did that without my children shutting the person down, because they were witnesses to everything I went through. In fact, it was two of my older children that said to me, you really need to get out of this marriage, Mom, because this is not life. We heard you will cry yourself to sleep the next morning, you wear these smiles on your face, you go to work and act like everything, it's fine. Right. You really need to leave. So as soon as that happened, I left. Once they told me that, I'm like, you know what? I have to leave. Coupled with the fact that this man don't even care about these children. He does not come to see them. You know how women will not allow their exes to see the children? No, he can see them every single day. Anytime he shows up, he can see these children. He doesn't even call them on the phone.
Wow.
But he would tell all these lies, telling his friends, oh, he pays me thousands of dollars for child support. Absolutely not. We are in the United States. He lied about his income, which I knew, but he was using it to stop the divorce proceeding. So I took everything they had, within the deal. I'm like, fine, I'm the one paying the bills anyway. I don't even need anything from him. I just want
if
out.
You have 6 kids, if anybody has 6 kids, wisdom is tell them that you need to maintain that marriage. If you don't want to pay child support, but I guess you guys broke up when the children were already adults or mostly adults.
No, well, the marriage was broken way back. I was just there. I was just there. I was just existing. The kids are all grown now. My youngest one is 14 years old. My first daughter is out. She's married. So they're all grown. So now it's easier on me, because before, all the school run and everything is just on me. Wow. It was terrible, because I know at the time when my mother came over just to help out, he was upset and he left the house. He left the house for a whole month plus, went to live in a hotel. And his ultimatum was, I have to send my mother back to Africa before he will come back. And secondly, I have to make him and give him the control of my finances again. I said, it's not going to happen. If that's the end of the marriage, you can stay there. I don't care.
If so you don't mind me asking, Kelly, where are you from? The same place in Nigeria?
I'm Igbo.
Is he Igbo as well?
Absolutely. We are from, in fact, his mother and me are from the same town.
Are you sure it's not your husband that called in the other day? One man called in the other day and he had quite a lot to say about his wife. I don't think.
Well, I mean, it could be him, but the problem is that as he gets older, he loses control of his life. His mother controls everything. I'd rather marry a man who's out there cheating because it's his own decision that I will decide whether to stay with him or not than to be married to a man.
Kelly,
In fact,
man said that. He said he told his son not to marry an Igbo woman because he made a mistake by marrying the mother. Because Igbo women, he will never marry Igbo woman. It's an Igbo man that was saying this. A lot of my subscribers who are here now heard this man. It was so shocking. Honestly, I don't know what is happening. May God help us. Oh.
I don't know, Bridget. I really don't know. So I take it personally when I hear people say, "Oh, these women, when they come to America, they become Americanized. They start disrespecting their husband." Oh no, I did everything a woman or a wife would do to support her husband, 100% plus, like plus. In fact, when our marriage ended, his friends were like, "Ah, finally." What kind of a perfect relationship is this? That's exactly, they were calling me and telling me the same thing and telling me his face. And when they said it, he cut all of them off. I mean, because he has friends who have all wives, they work, their husband have no idea how much they make, but he knows how much I make. In fact, he's the one that will ask me, where is my W-2? Because he needs to file the income tax. But believe me, this, you will not believe this. When he filed for the income tax, he wouldn't even tell me how much money that I received. He would keep everything. That
even
was
if he married you from the village, even if he took you from the village. So if you need money, do you go and ask him for money if you need money, since he's the one controlling the finances?
And I have to tell him, yes, to give me money when I'm a full-blown adult with 2 professional jobs. It was a shameful thing. I started talking about it freely recently because nobody will believe the story. Everybody that I tell the story will never believe it. Only close friends that were present and see whatever is going on. Because when he talk about something, they will come to me and ask me, and I will tell my own portion of the story. Okay? Yeah. And then they will try to help him to readjust his thinking. He will get upset.
Yeah. What I would say before I let you go, Kelly, I think you've been through quite a lot. With everybody here that's watching and listening, know from your voice, the way you sound, you've been traumatized. You stayed in a very toxic marriage that was not happy, wasn't healthy for you. But thank God you are here to tell this story today. You are going to need, I don't know if you've started already, but you're going to need a lot of counseling. You will.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm getting it. I'm doing well with it.
Please.
Yes.
Seek some counseling so you can deal with it. Yeah, but I'm glad that your children are okay and that you are okay and you are out of it now. You deserve some happiness. Everybody deserves some peace and happiness. So I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Yeah.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Whew, that was Kelly. Buchi, are you here?
I'm here. Good afternoon or good evening.
Good evening, Buchi. How are you? God's Glory TV, are you here too?
Auntie, I'm here. Oh,
my mouth got short. I don't think talk again.
Even me, safe.
Between a man, make Buchi fair address what this woman talk. See story.
My hat, I take off my hat to the lady before me because that is not 24 years.
Wow.
24 years. May God restore whatever she's lost in her life.
Amen. Amen.
Because that's not easy. I want to touch briefly because I'm probably like one of the young ones, not married, I'm single, so a lot of my life experiences are nowhere near compared.
Yeah, so if you're not married, I'm going to ask you the question we're asking. Do you feel like brothers, African men living in the diaspora, have been emasculated? That's the question I'm asking. By the system.
My answer to that question is that African men have discovered when they've come to the Western world that masculinity and femininity are energies that everybody possesses. And you cannot just abuse masculinity because you're a man. And you cannot just come out and look for how you can control. And when you're in the Western world, you remember that a woman is another adult, just like you. I think touching a little bit on what I think her name was Kelly.
Kelly.
Where there was where there was this need for her significant other before she divorced for him to have control over things, and if not that, he will look for ways to control things or manipulate and all these kind of things. My outlook on a lot of things is that masculinity and femininity, everybody has it. Now, whether you have more femininity over the next person or masculinity over the next person, that's on you, as each individual person. And I feel like a lot of African men are finding it hard that African women have that when they come here. They have that same drive, and a lot of even with like I find with a lot of African girls, they're close with their dads, so certain things they pick up from their dad. So when they've come here and they see they're just as equally, I don't want to say mad as a lack of better term, but they're equally as mad as them. If they were back home, the only difference is that they don't have women don't have the upper hand back home, but here they do, and that's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's more so a protective thing, because you can't just come and raise your hand or manipulate someone to do something and then you stay in it like that because of what. I do don't get me wrong, I do see that a lot of people abuse certain things and certain liberties here, but I think a lot of men, African men, want that individual they want to control, that the individual they want to when I move, then we move, which is a bit heartbreaking, because it's like, why would you not want a wife that's your equal? Yes, the man is the head of the house, but the woman is also the neck. She can help you, guide
I think they struggle a lot with that equality, and there's a lot of toxic masculinity going on. I think common sense.
There we go.
They talked about it. We talked about it the other days about toxic masculinity, and there's some misogyny going on as well, where women some people I'm beginning to find that some men, when you hear men that say, "Oh, these women," they always have something negative to say about women. Is that person is a misogynist, because they just have a dislike for women, not because of facts or evidence or something that's happened to them. They just have a dislike for women, and that person is a misogynist. It's a misogynist.
Absolutely. I feel like they find the same qualities or things that they may dislike in a woman. If another man was doing it, they won't have any comment to say. They won't have anything to say. But once women as a whole are doing it, oh, women. What do you mean women? If you're doing it, nobody will talk. But if the woman is doing it, there's problem. And it's sad that some of these men have daughters. It's like, so you want your daughter to grow up and meet another man like you, and be abused and be spoken to like she's less than. I've had debates with other guys and thought, why not have a woman that's your equal, so that if tomorrow if there's a relationship for you, it will be nothing for her to look after the rest of the family, because she looks at you as her equal. Why would you want somebody that's less than you, earns less than you, doesn't really have anything, and just stays at home? So when you take a loss, everybody takes a loss. How does that even make any kind of sense? But hey, it's a lot of people. I hate to say it. I've tried to uproot this way of thinking, but I feel like it's a very backwards, almost village-like way of thinking. To feel like a woman.
How did you change? Tell us quickly, Buchi. How did you change? What made you change?
I think well, I've never been like this, because my parents.
You've never been like that. Yeah, you've never been. You've always accepted women as equals.
Because in my household, my mom and dad, they worked. If my mom is tired today, and of course we need to. My dad knows how to cook. He will cook something quick eat. Nobody will complain.
And you are Igbo as well. Yeah, your parents
we're Igbo. Absolutely. So if one person starts, the other person starts. If one person starts, the other person doesn't start. So we only feel unfair this time. We don't do any of that.
That's why I say it's not about tribe, because we've seen some examples of Igbo that, the men are very controlling. Like, Kelly told us about her husband just now. The way that woman was speaking passionately, man. Wow. Anyway, thank you so much, Buchi. I've got other people lined up that I need to add. I appreciate your contribution. And I hope you're going to make a woman out there, a very happy woman out there someday. Thank you, love, for joining me. Thank you, love. Bye-bye. God's Glory TV. You there?
I'm here, Auntie B. Good evening, ma.
Good evening, my love. How are you?
I'm fine. This Auntie Kelly's story just broke my bones. As a woman going through that kind of thing, I was speechless. But I pray God gives her the peace and comfort that she deserves. The thing is this: when a woman marries a good man, she should be thankful, because there are some monsters out there that are in the other gender. I don't want to say men, the other gender. There are some men that, because I speak to women that are married, because of the church we go to, and my husband being one of the ministers. When you hear what these women say, it's terrible. I'll give you 2 examples. There was a lady, she came to me and she said she wanted to talk. And I was like, please, I'm tired of carrying other people's problem. I have my own problem. And we just laughed. But she said her husband who is a pastor, a Ghanaian, does her through the back.
Ooh. Okay.
And I was like, please, what do you mean? And she explained to me, she said, and it's paining her. She doesn't want to go because people will say because they brought her from Africa.
Hey.
And I said,
okay. Go on. God's Glory TV. Hello, God's Glory TV. I can hear you. You're not talking again. You started this story. You must finish, Amo. Where are you? Haba. We don't hear God's Glory TV. Oh. Okay, Babim. I've got you, Babim. Babim.
Bridget.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I think
thanks for joining me. Yeah.
There's some pressure with your mic or something.
Is there something wrong with my mic?
I think so. There's some static.
Can you hear me? Yeah, it's not from me. It might be from you. Are you using a headpiece? Usually it's the headpiece that does that.
I am actually not using an earpiece. But let me just get my point across.
Good.
So I am coming from an angle where I'm a woman.
Yeah, can you talk closer to the speaker so we can hear you? We cannot hear you clearly.
Okay, I said I'm coming from the point of view of a Nigerian woman that had a father, a very involved father, and a good father. Now, the issue that we have in the whole Nigeria, can you hear me?
No, the audio is very bad. Maybe you try again. Yeah, try again. Right. So, baby is trying to talk to us, but the audio wasn't quite good, and we lost another person that joined us earlier on. I hope you join us again because you started that story, but you didn't finish it. Now everybody wants to hear that story. Is the only me that wants to hear it? If you want to hear it, I beg, call her back, or let her come back, or come back. We want to hear that story. God's Glory TV. Oh yeah, connect sharp. Change your device and connect. We must hear that story. We need to hear them. We are talking about the system, and I'm so glad that we've got so many brothers tonight that said that if you are feeling emasculated, it's only when you are married that you know you're emasculated. That when you are single, you never complain of being emasculated by the system. So it's not me that is even saying it's brothers. It's very nice hearing brothers say that. So yeah, Samantha, are you there?
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi. Hello, Samantha.
Hi. I don't even know where to begin, to be honest, because everything that these women have been saying here resonates with me deeply. Because me, I'm not married. I'm no interest in it right now. But seeing my parents' marriage and seeing how it's impacted me and my siblings, this whole idea of being emasculated while in Western society, honestly, I feel it's more so that the ego of my dad is bruised because he thinks that us being more of a woman, like me, my mom, my sister, us being his equal, he sees that as him being less of a man, which causes him to be manipulative, controlling, and just, you know, emotionally, financially abusive in other aspects to try and gain that one up he thinks he should have over women. And I feel he's very misconstrued. It's upsetting because it takes a lot of healing to get to realize, okay, this way that I've been brought up, this way I've seen marriage, this way that I thought things should work. It's hard to unlearn all of that and reteach yourself what an actual good man is, what it actually means to be a woman.
So your parents didn't have a good marriage. That's what you're telling us, that your dad was very manipulative and controlling.
Yeah.
Right.
And it takes time. Even it's just like everybody is realizing it. It's not something that happens all at once. It's an accumulation of everything. And when you're, as a child, when you're witnessing all of that, you don't know that it's wrong. You don't know that he shouldn't be speaking to her that way. He shouldn't be treating her that way. Because you don't have any other example of like a relationship. So
Yeah.
it's difficult to unlearn all of that and then to reteach yourself what a healthy relationship actually is.
How
But in
old
terms
are you?
of him,
Asking, Samantha.
me, I'm 22. I'm 22
Okay,
right now.
so you're quite young, and you
Turning
do know that you
23 in
can have
September.
counseling before you start dating. You know that, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I am. I'm in therapy right now.
Okay.
Like I'm going through the healing process.
Right.
But it's difficult. But I do
Are
not
your parents
feel
still
in any
married?
way. Unfortunately, yeah.
So your mom is still there. Did they live in the diaspora in Africa?
No, yeah, we live in the UK. We live in the UK.
Yeah. So I can imagine that your mom is not a happy woman because of the way your dad is treating her.
No, but we keep each other happy because me, my sister, my brothers, we can see what is happening in front of us. So we're able to keep each other happy, you know, be the love that everybody needs. If we're not getting it from the man that should be emulating that masculine love, we give it to each other.
Yeah.
Because
You
that's
still
all we
live at
can do.
home. You still live at home. You're quite young. Like you should be in uni, right? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm in uni now, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still at home.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. You're quite young. Your dad should be your first hero, your first love. For a good
Hello?
dad, every good dad, yeah, a good dad is every girl child's love. Your dad is your first love, and you know your for a son, for a male child, the dad should be their first hero. But unfortunately, if you're talking about your dad this way, the way you've experienced it, this is not what you've been told, but this is what you've lived this experience, and I can imagine how things are. But yeah, the problem is that somebody said that he might have a personality disorder. A lot of Africans have unresolved or undiagnosed mental health issues, and that's why they behave the way they do, because they don't even recognize it and they don't get help.
Yeah, like even with me, I have anxiety and depression that I'm still working through. I've been diagnosed for 3 years now. These whole 3 years, I cannot talk to my dad about anything about it. He doesn't even know. We can't even have a conversation. It's not something I speak to him about. He treats it as if like I've gotten a knee injury and I need to take paracetamol every couple hours. It's not something I can talk to him about, and it's just a complete emotional disconnect because he's someone who is very self-centered and image like he'll want everybody to see that everything is doing good. He'll want everyone to have, outside of the family, to have a good perspective of him, but within the family he knows how he behaves, and deep down inside he knows how we think of him, and I don't think he cares. He's a textbook narcissist, but that one is his own problem.
Yeah.
So what we can do is just manage
like
each
that.
other.
Yeah. They don't know the impact they have on their children's life. You know, you've got anxiety issues because of your dad. Because of the relationship and because of the environment where you've grown up. You haven't grown up in an environment of love, you know, because some African parents think that raising your children in love is weakness. You know, they care more about the image, like you said, Samantha. It's about projecting this image in the church, in the outside world, but when they get home, it's a different person altogether. It's a different person, and it's really, really sad. I'm really, really sorry.
It's heartbreaking because even with me, obviously I've been dating around. I've just realized that I don't know how to pick good men because I haven't had an example of one. So I'll be getting into relationships with men who are just like my father, because, you know, if that's my example of he's supposed to be the greatest man in my life. in that aspect. So if that's my example, I'll be picking men like him, and it's not healthy. And that's just how the cycle continues, and how the cycle just continues, because there's no good example of what a good man can be. So the trouble isn't really emasculating them or them feeling less than a man. Sometimes bad people are just bad people, and they blame it on everybody else and everything else, instead of taking responsibility for who they are and making positive change.
Yeah, absolutely. You are so wise for your age. You are really young, but you understand the situation perfectly. Your dad is a narcissist. Everybody in the comment section is saying. And thank you for supporting your mom and being there for one another, your brother as well. Yeah, I just wish you the very best, and thank God that you are in therapy. Yeah, and I hope that you know what, it's possible to break the cycle. It is possible.
Yeah,
you don't have to end up with a man like your dad. No, because you already realize that it is a problem. You know already, and you are addressing it. So you don't have to end up with a man like him. Just take your time, keep focusing on your own life, try to develop yourself. Don't rush into relationships because you are not ready mentally and emotionally, because you suffered from a lot of abuse growing up, mentally, emotionally. So don't be in a hurry to go into a relationship. Try to develop yourself, get to know yourself, be matured emotionally, mentally, and be healed before, because when you are healed, then whoever you're going to meet, you are in a better place, to offer them the best of yourself. So do yourself a favor, do that person a favor, and just hold on. Dating doesn't run. You need to be well. You need to be in a good place before you can even realize when you meet someone that is good. So you don't keep jumping from one person that is like your dad, to another. But I know that you'll be all right. You'll all right. And I'll pray for you. Thank you so much, sweetheart.
Thank you.
And I wish you and your family the very best. Thank you, my love.
You too.
Yeah. So, yeah, you guys can hear what is being discussed here. Like joke, we've done 1 hour plus. This is a young girl coming out to talk about the dad. Oh my God. Of all the callers, we've had some callers that, said some pretty horrible things. This is the one that it really, really broke my heart, what this young lady has to say. Yeah. Yeah. Pius, you see, I should set up a site with a list of good men. Oh, how do you know when somebody is good? It's over time. You never know. Appearances can be very deceptive. Thank you so much, everybody that is doing super chat. I really appreciate. If anyone, thank you. God bless you. You never know. Babim is back. I hope we're going to have God's Glory TV back. Let me add Babim. Babim, you're back.
Hi, Bridget. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
So I'm going to talk from the perspective of someone that had an amazing father. And I don't think fathers are all bad. My father was a Yoruba man, and he was raised by a very strict traditional Yoruba family of all boys. So him coming in and valuing his daughters was amazing. He set a very high bar. Now you come to America and you meet people that are very damaged. A lot of Nigerian children are damaged. Okay? Because, and the funny thing is, there are so many that are damaged because a lot of people in polygamous families have so many children. So you coming from a stable home with good parents, your pickings are very small. And during my dating period, it was a struggle because I know what a good man should be.
Yeah.
And
because you've seen the example in your dad already.
Exactly. And constantly you keep meeting really damaged people. And for no reason, they are angry, they are vindictive, they are competitive. I mean, very, very, very toxic.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you see, there's a Yoruba proverb that says, I don't know if I can remember it very well, but if you see that something is not right with you, you have to reinvent yourself. Right? Omatura Ebinu. Yorubas always believe in improving yourself.
Reinventing yourself.
Yes. So when you come to a society and you see that there's a different way that things are being done, you see the positives in it. You understand that where you are coming from is probably not ideal and it's toxic. And you see that and you say, you know what? I want better for my children. It is a choice. You can't just sit back and play the victim and say, oh, they already don't side me. Why must anybody side you? Why must the favors always be, why must things always be in your favor?
So you're talking about the people that are saying that the system is emasculating the men now, the African men. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is emasculating you? Why is it emasculating you?
Yeah.
The things that you expect from the system, are they normal? If you as a human being put yourself in your woman's shoes, can you take it? You always have to put yourself in the other person's shoes. That's showing that you have a level of empathy.
Yeah.
So when you come up and say, oh, you know, the system is already against me.
Yeah.
When people ask you in what way, you really can't say the truth.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
We had a lot of men that came in. I don't know when you joined us, baby. A lot of men are joining us earlier that they don't find the system emasculating for them, that they just feel like it's a level playing ground for everyone. So, hold that thought. I'm going to add, I've got quite a few people. So I'm going to add Maya. Maya is here. The traditional man is here. I'm going to add the traditional man. And I'm also going to add 2 Ninja. Yeah. So it's a full house. So we're going to talk. We're all going to have a conversation. Let me unmute your mic. I think 2 Ninja. 2 Ninja, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for having me, and greetings to the panel members. I just thought I should jump in quickly because of I wanted to add a different perspective to some of these debates. Regarding masculinity and the issues that our brothers tend to have when they come to the West. What is happening is that even in the West itself, I think there's a misalignment of societal values that has made the home more hostile to remaining together. And hear me out, because there is this idea behind feminism and all this stuff that's happened in the last 60 or so years that has resulted in the statistics that is showing that women are initiating divorce about 80% of the time. And that 80% is alarming because it tells you something that is going on within those numbers.
Right.
The society now has created a situation whereby women has found men totally these despicable creatures that they don't want to stay around for a very long period of time. So
I don't agree with that summary, my brother.
80% begs to differ.
No, you're generalizing so much. You just said that women are beginning to find men despicable, that they don't want to be around. A lot of us love men. We love our men. We love our brothers. We love the men in our lives. So I think that's a kind of generalization.
Okay. Then one of the reasons why you can explain is that when men do what men do, what is described as now is either they are being chauvinistic, and some of them are actually. So let's not make that mistake. As a matter of fact, I believe that men that are well behaved in Nigeria, when they come here, they are also well behaved here. I don't think it's necessarily about moving to the West that changes them, because I've seen men in Nigeria that are very, very respectable to women. They respect the women and they treat women very, very kindly. I've lived around them. So I think human beings are good. If they are good, they will be good wherever they go to. That said, there's when you are in a hot pot and you are in a warm environment, there's a slight difference. There is a system here that is built not necessarily that is very conducive to homes. Let me give you an example. Say you want to have many children, you can't here because it's controlled. They say there's this condition that will tell you to do, and there's this other condition. Like in China, the Chinese government will tell you life, you should have only one child, but here they will not tell you that. They'll just set conditions. that will
where
make you.
Where do you live, Nigerian man? Where do you
in
live?
the UK? In the UK.
Which condition is in the UK that people cannot have? Because I worked in a borough where there are Muslims, and some of them have 10 children, 8 children. So where do you get the control about children in the UK?
The controls are there based on the condition that you are required to meet when you have children. Otherwise, you encounter the social services. So that is a fact. For example, if you are not able to do certain things like inoculation, or your child comes to school not well dressed one day, or just one thing that could happen, and you have them in your home, and they will start questioning people about, whether you are a good parent and stuff like that, which is fine.
Is it good for you to have children that you cannot care for?
You see, that is the thing. But the Nigerian women are not taking permission. The Nigerian women are not taking permission from their government. Why is it the Nigerian woman can have 8 children without taking permission from his government, but here you have to? You see, the problem with life now is that your genetic offspring that is given to you by God himself has now been taken over by government somehow. And now government define who should have children and what condition they should have children, because they are telling you that they are caring for your children. Let me give you the game that they are playing here. In the 1960s, one man can go to one job and feed the whole family. Now, good luck trying that nonsense. Two partners can go to job and they will still struggle to even maintain a home now. Because
so whose fault is that? You blame the government for that?
Because the people are being impoverished.
By the government?
Yes, slowly, by the rich. Let's put it that way. By the rich, their pockets are being picked slowly. They are working harder for less and less. So
honestly,
I'm just trying to show the bigger
talking about. To be honest, a lot of people in my comment section are lost. You made a lot of we are lost. You make a lot of generalization, and you're quoting statistics that I don't know where you got them from. And you said something, thank God you live in the UK, you don't live in China. And you are saying that the government is regulating the number of children people can have. I'm a social worker, and I know social services only get involved when there's issues of abuse and neglect. And your examples don't add up. I'm sorry, but you need to give us a real tangible example of why you feel that the system is against people having children. As far as I know, I don't know if that exists here in the West.
They will not tell you, obviously. I know how systems are manipulated. You know what they call subliminal messages, and the way the rules that are put in place, that see, governments can pass a law and they will know exactly the people that law is going to hit.
Yes.
So when they do that, they know the outcome. When they pass a law, they know the outcome of that law. They will know that, okay, people are not going to want to have more than 2 children. Like in housing benefit now, they will tell you that housing benefit, you are allowed to put only 1 child on housing benefit, which means if you have more than 1 child, they're not going to support you more than that. In other words, they're telling you 1 child, 2 at most, maybe 3 if you're lucky.
That's what they're saying. You cannot put more than 1 child in housing benefit. Did they say that?
Yes.
Why would you want to be on housing benefit anyway?
But
why? You want to have more children.
Exactly. But if you want to have more, you have to earn more money that is not out there to be earned.
Let me tell you something, to Nigeria. I have a problem with your arguments, and I will tell you why. We work very hard in this part of the world. We pay taxes. If people don't work and they want to claim government money, is it right for them to have any number of children? They have 20 children based on the benefit they're going to be claiming from other people's taxes. Is it right?
No, but look at the magic here. But a Nigerian woman doesn't get benefit, but they can have 8 children.
Nigerian women have 8 children. And have you been to the northern part of Nigeria where there are marjories, they put them on the streets? Is that what you want here in 2021?
See, the point I'm making is that you want to see the misalignment that is going on. Because if 80% of women are initiating divorces, it's telling you that there's something about the home now that is making it more likely that the women will want to seek to break it up.
Are you a Nigerian? Let me ask last.
Yes, I am.
You're a Nigerian. What tribe are you from?
The South. I'm from 2 different major groups.
Okay. Which you mind telling us? You sound like an Igbo man. Are you married? Because I'm very worried about what you are saying. I'm worried.
See, don't worry, you will catch on. Eventually, you may not believe what I say today. You will not, but you'll catch on.
I can't catch on because this is what I'm looking. The way you are talking, you have this thinking about the systems, and you are quoting things that are not even in place, and you are saying that the government or the rich people are against the poor people. They are making laws against the poor people. They are controlling the number of children we can have. I don't get you.
Let me give you one last detail. Do you know that most of the divorces you hear about is mostly for the poor? The elites don't have all these problems.
Boris Johnson has been divorced 3 times. What are you talking about?
But you're talking about the few. You look at the majority of them.
The richest men in the world, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Amazon, what's his name? They all got divorced recently. What are you talking about?
You are looking at the number of these celebrities that you know. If you look at the numbers,
statistics without backing them up with evidence, my brother.
If we don't believe those statistics, then we should not believe anything anymore.
No, because you're not backing the statistics up with evidence. You are just quoting it from the blue. You are bringing it up from the air. I believe statistics, but you're not showing us any.
Okay, anyway. You can ask your guy to check it up, whoever is there to, because I don't want to make it look like I'm lying.
No, I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just thinking that,
it's mostly for the rich.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. I'm going to add, I've got Vietmaya here. Vietmaya, please, do you understand what that brother was saying? I'm very confused.
Well, Auntie Brie, I'm confused myself.
Brother,
I'm trying to strain my brain, flexing all my brain muscles to see if I can catch up. But I still don't.
He's saying that we're not allowed to have children here. Okay, let's move on. Okay, what do you have to say, Vietmaya? Hit me.
Anyway, what I have to say is concerning this issue of men feeling like women are being empowered and they are being emasculated. I just think it comes from, like, for our African men in Africa, the men, it's like they are in control. A man can actually live his life and even live your own life if you get married to a kind of controlling narcissistic man, and the society encourages it. So when people travel abroad, most of the time our men, they see only the economic advantage of traveling. They don't really look at the fact that they are changing environment and certain conditions or mentality or the way of life also will change with time. So when they come abroad, most of our men, they want a modern woman who is working, bringing money home, but they still want you to still come back home and still act the role of a traditional woman, giving all your money back, doing everything. Like I hear a lot of people here where I live, the men, they say, no, our papa them before, now they married better, now they enjoy marriage. This our own now marriage be this. So I was like, some of those marriages, doesn't mean that the fact that they stayed together, there was happiness there. Most of the time,
just now, Vietmaya, my dear, no need to even drag the long story. A lady in the US called us just now. Yeah. She told us she's been married 24 years, and
Auntie Kelly, I heard her talking. Yes, I heard her talking.
My last video, one uncle called in. He's been married 38 years, and if you see how he was talking about his wife, you will know that it was not a happy marriage, or it's still not a happy marriage. They are together. So, a long years of marriage does not mean that someone is happy. So just hold on your thought there. I want to bring in traditional man. Traditional man, can you hear me?
Yes, good afternoon. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, the traditional man. I hope you're not traditional like my last male caller, please.
No. I understood the point he was trying to make, but he made it totally wrong. See, those are conspiracy theories with a little bit of truth. It has about 5% of truth and 95% of lies in it.
Yes.
But no, I want to take this opportunity to thank you, first of all, for allowing me on your platform. This discussion you brought today is very important. For me, I can only give a point of view of a young man. I'm not married, but I've been living in this country over 15 years. I wasn't born here. I'm in the United States. I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm telling you, this emasculation that they're talking about, there's about 80% of truth that's in it. You just give me a little bit of time, I would like to explain.
Go on.
Okay, so for me, personally, I grew up in Nigeria before moving here to America. My dad was a banker. made huge amounts of money. He opened a shop for my mom. My mom was making crazy money with the shop. She never had to pay a single bill in the house. Her money was her money. The only thing she had to do was buy food. But here in America, I noticed that it is really, really hard. It's really, really hard for African men. I don't care if they just came yesterday. I don't care if they've been here 10 years, because the Western culture is made to break up the African culture. That is just the plain truth. The West is not Africa.
Yeah.
Some women will say African men are controlling. I agree with you. That is our culture. But I say this thing. The Chinese people are controlling. The Indian are controlling. The Jewish are controlling. But if you go to their particular subculture in America, I can only speak for me in America. I don't know about UK. I'm not there. If you come here to America, you will never see it because they hide the good and the bad. I am not saying to allow violence or abuse to happen, but at some point, we have to understand that there's a difference between calling out the bad in our culture and putting your dirty laundry in the wind for the public to see. Our culture is our culture. I really don't see how, because some of your callers earlier were saying like about the modern women. This is my problem that I have with the modern women, and this is the truth. I don't mean no disrespect. Their mothers failed them in teaching them the African way when it comes to being married. The Western way will not work with an African man.
How can you say that modern women, they taught us everything? The modern women were the only one that learned. It is the brothers, on the other hand, that were never taught about dealing with the 21st century women. That's the truth.
I won't say that you're lying, madam, but the truth of the matter is, you and I know in Nigeria, 20 years ago, there was no such thing as the modern women.
Yeah, but we're not in Nigeria, and this is not 20 years ago.
Yes, you are correct.
On. We cannot live in the past. The thing that evolves, everything in life evolves, including culture, including way of life, including marriages, including the way we do business.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Okay, go on, traditional man. Go on.
My question is this: if we have to evolve, why is it when an Igbo woman gets married, she goes home to do her traditional marriage?
Because she wants her parents to be involved. Her parents doesn't live in the diaspora. They want the wider community, the Umunna, to be involved. That's why. It's not because they want to live like they were living in 20 years ago. We cannot continue with. There were so many harmful cultural practices 20 years ago that we can't go back there.
You are correct, but the reason I brought up the traditional marriage is the reason that they are in the diaspora here, especially in Baltimore, because I recently went back about 2 years ago for my brother's wedding, is because it is our culture. You cannot, when you allow our young daughters to be deceived into thinking that a African man exercising his culture, it is this is why I brought up the example of 20 years ago. In Nigeria, it is the culture.
Give me some examples of the culture that you feel like the modern woman has not respected in today's relationships.
Okay, perfect example is the roles of the partners in the relationship. What is the role of a husband and a wife in a marriage? I'm not married, so I won't go there. What is the role of a boyfriend and a girlfriend in a relationship?
Yeah,
the issue that I have with modern. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The roles are very fluid. That's what I'll tell you. You are not married yet, and I'm kind of concerned now because you are going to get married someday, and you can't be thinking like this. The roles are not written on stones that they cannot change. That's the problem. When you feel like because we are Africans and this is our culture, my role is for me not to wash plates, for instance, or to cook because I'm a man. And I'm a woman, and my role as an African woman is for me not to work or pay bills. I should stay at home while you do all the work and pay all the bills. I take care of the children, and I take care of the home, and I take care of you. I will be the best wife. But I can't do that because we live in the United Kingdom. This is 2021. If I allow you to pay all the bills, you will die early. So I go to work. so I can pay some of the bills. So it follows that if I'm going to work to pay some of those bills, you as an African man can't just sit down and say, I'm a man, I cannot wash plates. I'm a man, I cannot interact. It will not work, my dear. It won't. The roles evolve, and we as people evolve. So we can't be talking about roles 20 years ago. Even the roles in Nigeria as we speak, they are not the same as they were 20 years ago.
Of course, they are not.
They are not. More women are pulling their weight. More women are working. More women are bringing in income. So we got to be flexible. Don't you agree with me?
I agree with Yes, I agree with everything you said. This is why earlier my main point of calling is to say that in the African culture, it is the culture of the African man to be controlling. What is controlling is, like you said about being fluid. Controlling is fluid. It depends on your definition of what controlling is. It depends on my definition of what controlling is. But my experience in Baltimore, Maryland, these modern women want African men to provide 100% for them, but they do not want to take up the roles of a traditional wife. You have to learn how to talk to your husband when you're talking to him. The way you talk to a stranger is not the same tone you should hold with your husband. How do I know this? Because this is the example I saw in my parents' marriage, and that is why 38 years later, they're still going long, strong, and happy.
Yeah,
at some point, we have to start talking about
Yeah, I agree that you should talk to your husband with respect the way you talk to. I agree with you on that point, but you did tell us, traditional man. I'm going to move on because I got 3 people waiting, 4 people actually.
I just wanted to share a personal experience, like my own. What I notice is that we women, we make mistakes sometimes when we date. My longest relationship, like my marriage, I had problem because in the beginning I was overdoing. They not ask me to do. I was doing too much because I wanted everything to work very well. So yes, the man got used to the fact that when he comes home, he doesn't have to do anything, or even when he's off and I'm working, he doesn't do anything. I come home, I will cook, I will clean, I will do this. By the time evening reach, I am tired, I'm exhausted, I am finished. Is
that good? Is that good behavior, traditional man? The traditional man.
That's why I said it is not good. Because
no. Let me ask him. The traditional man. You just had an example. Is that good?
Yes.
What she has described.
The example that she gave, is it good?
Yeah. Is that
in my point of view?
Yeah.
In my point of view, no. Why is it not good? Is because it's like she said. It goes back to me talking about the roles. She started doing some of the roles of the husband. This is why, again, it's not for me to tell anybody what their role is. I'm only speaking on the traditional African man's role is to provide. So if a woman starts providing and washing dishes, of course she's going to get frustrated and get tired, because in the Western culture, one source of income is not enough anymore. Sometimes even 2 is not. I know personally a lot of nurses that have 2 or 3 jobs just to survive.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I feel like what she went through was not wrong. Was not right. Why? Because if you ask me, she started doing some of the roles for her husband and some of the roles for her. But again, I'm not the ultimate say-so on what the role is. I'm just saying what I saw my parents doing and how it worked for 38 years. Based on that, she was doing some of the husband's role. And like she said, it became too much for her.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Why I'm saying this is we also have to look into our relationships and also see what we are doing wrong. Sometimes right at the point of dating, just because you think that I'm almost 30, I want to settle down, you do too much just for the relationship to work. And then you think that when you are married, things will get, the man will adjust. He will not adjust. From my experience, he got used to the fact that I was doing too much. He got used to it to the point that to the point that when I'm tired and I'll ask him that, oh baby, can you please help me take the trash outside? He will give me this look as if, what is wrong with you? Why would you ask me to do that? because he was used to coming home, his food is served, he would just sit down and cross his legs and enjoy himself, watch his TV until most of the time I will need help, but I'll be like, oh, let me not disturb him, and then he got used to it. So at the point that when I needed help, he has become too relaxed and used to being this king in the house that doesn't do anything. And then we started quarreling. And what affected it the most is towards evening, Auntie Brie, I get so tired that making love to my husband became a chore to me. It became an additional domestic work because I couldn't, I will be so exhausted. And I will expect him to understand, and he will not. Why I'm saying this is, you see, when these marriages come to an end of relationship, most of the time, women complain about things, but they don't also complain the part that they play to fail the marriage. I'm being honest to you. It takes two people to fail a marriage.
Yeah, I like you.
You see, me, I had to start taking responsibility for the things that are happening in my life, start looking deeply into things. You know, when you always blame the other person, you take away the power of change from yourself because you are expecting another person to do the work. When you say, it is because of my husband, I'm not saying that the men are not, there are some men there who have no business with marriage because they cannot really coexist with another person. But also some of us women, we do too much. There are things we do, but when the relationship comes to an end, we don't say those things, or we don't even want to look at it. We just cry to people who will understand us. And the disadvantages, you take this very habit into the next relationship, then you mess it up because you have not learned anything. I had to learn how to sit down and have those difficult conversations in order to work through it. You know, like he asked me one day that, is it that you don't like sex? Are you just rigid? You have no emotions, but you were not like this in the beginning. Then I told him that by the time I go to bed in the evening, my knees are hurting me. I'm tired. Sometimes I feel like after standing for 8 to 9 hours in the house, at work, then coming home again, our African food, how long it takes to cook till you finish, and then round up and clean the kitchen. By the time evening reach, I feel like my feet are shaking on the ground. Or the last thing I need is for somebody to be touching me and saying, "Baby, have fun." I don't need that. I just want to sleep. So we also have to look at these things. Honestly.
You made very good points. You talked about taking responsibility. I'm going to move on quickly now, Vietmaya. You made really good points, and I wish you the very best. And I'm going to, the traditional man is still here. Traditional man, one last word from you before we move on, because I've got so many people waiting. Oh my goodness. Are you here, traditional man?
Yes, I'm here. Again, I want to thank you, and to the other caller, she's 100% correct. I'm not here to defend traditional African men because the truth is there's bad people everywhere. But the only advice I would give people is the same advice my dad gave me. Please, before you select a mate, introduce them to your parents. Learn to use your parents' guidance. They will never lead you wrong. I thank you so much for allowing me to be on your platform. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, traditional man. And I will say to you, traditional man, that please, going into a marriage, you live in the diaspora, you cannot have that African man mentality. It doesn't work. I'm telling you for free. It won't work. You cannot be in America and you want to compare your marriage to your parents' marriage. It won't work because it's not the same society. You don't have money. You say your dad was doing very well, opened a shop for your mom and everything. Your mom didn't do anything. She had maids. With all the level of money that your dad, the shop she opened for, you cannot conduct marriages like your parents. It won't work. Please don't go into marriage with that African man mentality. It will not work. That's just all I have to say. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got God's glory. Everybody is itching to hear that story. God's glory. Not cause the story. Not cause the story.
My internet was acting up.
Let it not happen up again. What happened? Tell us that story.
So it is well. So when she told me, I was kind of dumbfounded because I was cold while she was talking. So I kept quiet, and the next thing she said, what actually got me upset was when she said her husband said, my husband and I are doing the same thing. That is how they do it here in the Obodoyibo.
So she said that you told us that one woman came to meet you and said the husband said she wanted to do it from the back, and she said, did she say she doesn't like it, or was she complaining, or I don't understand?
Yeah, she was complaining to me, and she said she's tired of it, but because it's hurting her, she's dying silently, and she needs somebody to talk to. That she has looked at everybody. She's scared of talking to people that will bring problem to her. And
so the only wants to do it from the back. He wants to do it from the back. He doesn't want the main. And she's been allowing him to do it. Why would he do that? Why?
Auntie B, I wish I can ask him.
No, because that's Glory TV. Me, I always feel that men that do that, they are gay. I don't know why.
Of course. That's no, of course, because no normal person will do that. But the thing is, how he manipulated her was knowing that people respect my husband and I. He went to use us as example. That is what we also do, because that is how they do it here. You know, he brought her now thinking, na mumu you bring come. So I told her that, my dear, I was kind of confused, you know. I'm enjoying my marriage. Am I going to tell her to leave her marriage? So I was like, Lord, have mercy. So I told her that she should go for counseling in the clinic. Tell doctor that this is what is happening, so that whatever report the doctor gives.
Did he marry her from Nigeria? He brought her from Nigeria?
From Ghana.
Ghana.
Okay. Yeah, they're both a Ghanaian man. A Ghanaian pastor, yeah.
He's a pastor that is doing this.
Ben, you.
Okay, so what did she do? Quickly.
Yeah, I told her to go to the doctor and tell them this is what is happening, so that whatever reports they give to her, she'll give to the man. But as I speak to you now, she's no more in the marriage. And I told her that it's a lie. My husband can never do such nonsense. And she said she knew he was lying because he wanted an evidence to turn her head. But so she's out of the marriage.
He lied to her that you and your husband are doing the same thing.
Yeah, so that one shocked me. And I
they sleep together when you know as you and your husband say they sleep together. See story.
You know, some men, some of this gender, they are so terrible in their brain. He knew the kind of person she is. Yeah, they had a son, but she's gone. She's out of the marriage now. She's living with she's living under the government. Now the second one, the man brought her from Nigeria. He did not close his chapter. He did not close his first chapter with the Oyibo lady, only for her to come to Germany. Hey, Oyibo go come visit. This man began to tell the lady that, hey, if you don't allow her to sleep with me, they will deport us to Nigeria.
That's why some men like to go to Africa to bring very unaware and uneducated and non-exposed women so that they can lie and just manipulate things. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, he had to shift the lady to the child's room.
So that he can be sleeping with your Igbo wife.
Yeah. She said she was hearing their noise and everything, and she'll be the one to cook for the Oyibo. Now, the thing is that she's been here 2 years, and she's like, what do? I said, my sister, call the man and talk to him, because I like talking. You say your mind and I'll say my mind. And I said, call your husband and tell him that you cannot continue like this. Mentally, as a woman, some women, that's why, yes, sometimes the woman killed the man. Nobody knows what has happened. I also that you have to call the man and tell him that you cannot continue like this. And the day she addressed the white lady, not knowing the man told the white lady that she is
a sister. Of course. We don't hear that one tire. Look, let me say, God's Glory TV, my dear sister. That's una Ghana pastor. Now you who my body. Next time, that's una Ghana friend. The next time you carry woman say one marry, more than one the woman say. Now the style where they like be this. So if you're ready for comment person say you go wear a Pampers tire. Men that want to say if you know say no those kind of men they go they do Christian dating. Say I'm a pastor, you know I can so I don't come try that thing. Go buy Dido, chook am for you. Then we go do me, I do you. God knows.
Of a truth is it's sad because people don't know why they leave. They don't know why these women leave. We judge them sometimes.
How many people will tell say your husband are for back they like play back like
my ear drop? Oh, see, I wanted to put categories in my ear because these are the people that will quote all the Bible verses, and since then I didn't look past us with 2 eyes. Yeah, that's why I pity pastors' wives because we don't know what they go through. Yeah, just let me contribute that one. We should know that these ladies, they go through a lot before they take those decisions. It's not easy.
Yeah. Some men go through a lot too.
Yes.
But we know mostly it's women that suffer. Women suffer a lot in relationships. Thank you so much, God's glory.
Right. Thank you,
yeah.
Tansi.
Hello, Madam Bridget.
Hello, Chama. How are you? I've got baby.
Good. I'm so glad you allowed me to enter this stream.
Thank you.
So I think there's so many layers to this story. So the original man that talked about, men being traditional and all that, and he talked about like the statistics with regards to divorce.
Yeah.
So that's valid, but it does pertain to the African American community.
Right.
Not to Africans.
Africans. Okay. He said 80% of divorces are instigated by women.
They are.
Okay. So it's African American community.
Somewhere. Yeah, he was going somewhere. I wasn't quite able to, elucidate his point.
Yeah,
but as Nigerians, if I want to stick, I'm Igbo. The thing is, a lot of men are well-intentioned, right? But, to piggyback on what he said earlier with regards to, he did talk about it favoring, poor people. That's a fact as well, because I live here in the United States. And I noticed when you look at a lot of these forms that to apply for, even if it's like a bank account or life insurance, there's usually a maximum of 4 children allowed. So I keep saying to myself, so what if I have 6, 7, 8 kids? What am I going to do? So maybe he was trying to say, yes, he was trying to say it's a conspiracy theory, but it's not really encouraged because Caucasians don't have a lot of children. So, by proxy, 4 will be like the maximum. It's not set, but you can by inference, you can infer that that's kind of where they're going with that. But another thing I noticed, I'm married, I have 5 children.
Okay. Oh, you still got more than 4. So you don't need to life insurance now.
That's why it called with life insurance you can you can have an addendum and attach pages because they love that because you're paying into the system. But with healthcare and some mundane things, you notice that. So that's why it particularly piqued my attention. But as a Nigerian woman, I'm a traditional woman. I make a lot of money. My husband makes a lot of money. I'm not good. My husband is the exception to the rule because he's so into the children. Even when I was having these babies, because I'm not a night owl, he'll stay up, feed them, and do, takes them to the park. I'm not particularly.
So he's not a traditional African man then. What do you call him traditional? Traditional African men don't.
No, I said I'm a traditional woman.
I'm
traditional in the sense that I cook, but I noticed amongst my friends and, like anecdotal examples, like in my Igbo community, a lot of women lead with their money. They come here, right? They do make a lot of money, like they're nurses. I'm not a nurse, I'm an educator. So they come here and then I get the sense that they think, oh, okay, usually well-intentioned, or to make this man happy, I'll make this money and then, contribute to the family's well-being and all that. And as the lady said earlier, sometimes, we overdo it and then the men begin to feel entitled. And then the women start feeling resentful, then it just becomes like, collateral damage. So over the years, the women become, and then they get mouthy because women can really, lash out with their tongues. Look at you, useless man. I've heard that actually, my friend, saying that to her husband. Look at you. I'm a nurse, you're doing whatever you're doing. I make, X, Y, and Z money. And I had to call her. I said, no, that's not okay. He didn't put a gun to your head to tell you to do all these things. Allow a man to be a man, right? Because men have their responsibilities. You can still help, but don't, make it all, like put it all out there and make it obvious. That's where the emasculation comes in.
Yeah, but did she tell you what's going on in the relationship? Do you know the ins and outs of their relationship though?
She's particularly aggressive. Her husband is a little controlling, but he's a provider. You know, he's a provider. And then I say to her, I said, this man provides for you. So, you know, there's a breakdown somewhere. Why, you know, are you always mouthing up? So I guess she always tries to posture that, you know, she makes a lot of money. So therefore it doesn't matter that he should, you know.
Does she make more money than him? She makes more money than the husband?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay, so he's not doing that as well.
Yeah, but she does a lot of things that she really shouldn't be doing. And I tell her, I said, just pull back. Let him be a man. Unless he asks you, or you can consult with him, you know, you're having monetary constraints, then you can contribute, but don't lead with your money. And then another thing with the US, I'm just going to stick with the United States, is a lot of women actually do better than men. Because we Nigerian men, we're very, you know, ambitious, we're resourceful. We come here, we get all these advanced degrees, you know, and then we make a lot of money. We do contribute a lot, and then the society does not particularly favor Nigerian men. Oh, well, black men in
black
essence.
Men, yes, black men,
It doesn't in the US. You have to be like, so you know, I mean, I could go on and on, but I think I'll keep it brief. I hope I was able to make a point. You know, I'm not here to like, you know,
you did. Thank you very much.
We are glad to see an Igbo person. Madam B, we as women. Sorry, I'll just end with this. Let's just, you know, be wise in our dealings with the men. You know, be feminine. It's okay for a woman to be feminine. It's okay, you know, don't be aggressive or act like you're superhuman, because you're not. We're not superhuman. So let's lead with our femininity, and trust me, you know, it always works itself out. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Madam Bridget.
Thank you, Chama. I appreciate your contribution, and I'm glad that we finally have one Igbo couple that are happily married. And that's good. That's good. So I know it's not an Igbo thing anyway. So
no, it's not. I know so many Igbo couples are happily married.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, love. Bye-bye. So I'm gonna come to. I've got Babim. Yeah, let's hear what you have to say now. Come on, sisters. Oh gosh.
Sorry,
Babim.
Bridget, I'm having a lot of issues with my mic, but I just wanted to wrap up what I was saying initially. As we can see, the people that came out to try to, you know, tell us that the system is against them, they didn't have any tangible thing to hold on to. They kept referring to how it is done back home. And one thing that really irks me is these people that keep saying it is African culture. No, it is your family culture. African culture consists of so many different tribes, and each family does things differently. You can't come and say it's African culture, because your reality is not mine. I had a mother that worked all through, and I have worked all through, and I'm very accomplished. And I also had a father that provided and worked all through as well. They pooled their resources to provide us with everything that we have. So you cannot come in and say, and my mom always had her own money. So number one, there are so many bottlenecks with that. I could have never married a man that would tell me to bring all my money. Number one.
I was going to ask you, did your mom give her paycheck to her dad?
Never.
Right, okay.
So, you see, it's not African culture. Different homes do things differently. So don't come out and say, oh, in African culture, the man is this. I saw my dad cook for us. All my brothers know how to cook and clean. And some live in Nigeria and they help their wives. So what African culture are you talking about? Anytime you're talking,
baby, let me ask you. But baby, let me ask you. The last caller, the traditional man said something. He said that he is a traditional man, not to that extent, but he's saying that a lot of ladies, a lot of African girls or women are losing the African values in terms of marriage. When they come into a marriage, they are losing their values, and that's why there are a lot of problems in these relationships. What do you say to that? He made quite he said many things, but I know you heard. What do you say about that?
I think the thing is, the society has changed. The world has moved on. Right? Things are much harder all over the world now. Everybody has to pool their resources, and everybody has to pull up their bootstraps and contribute to the family being a successful unit. You cannot sit back, lay down. Some of them don't even have jobs, but they feel it is beneath them to change their children's diapers. That is your child. What is your problem? You are not in
because
a
African culture, if we want to say African culture, men don't change diapers. But are you going to be at home when you are not working, and your wife is working, and you say you cannot change diaper or do schooling?
But then again, Bridget, we have seen pictures of even Igbo men carrying their children on their back with wrapper. So it is not an African culture.
Yes.
It is by individual thought.
Individual and your upbringing, your family.
Your family units. So you have to put yourself in the frame of mind and say, look, this is how I want my family to be. I want my children to be successful. I want my marriage to be successful. It is intentional.
Yeah.
And you saying, oh, the system is against Black people. You can't put yourself in that victim mentality all the time. I have brothers here. They are doing very well. They are very successful. So you can't say this and at home, my brother spends time with his sons. He takes them out to dinner, to lunch, a long time. And he's very particular because he knows how he was raised. So he wants to raise his boy in a way that he's a good father as well and a good husband.
Yeah.
But when we keep perpetuating all these silly stereotypes to kind of justify how we should be convenienced in a marriage or in a relationship, it's very bad, because then we're not even seeing the bigger picture. It is not about you. Once you marry somebody and you have kids, it's no longer about you.
Yeah.
It's about a whole family unit. Why are you competing with your wife? Oh, she's not doing this for me. Okay, so I will take away affection from her. What is the gain? There's no gain. It only brings resentment. It brings anger. It breeds unforgiveness, and eventually the marriage falls apart. It will take nothing from you. And keep away from toxic friends that always say this is only one way something is done. It doesn't make sense. Our whole lives are not streamlined. A lot of African men sit around toxic friends that have nothing to offer. They come from scattered homes. They have absolutely no figure to look up to.
Yeah, Balaji gave us an example. My earlier caller, Balaji, said that when he's cooking with his wife or his partner, where they live over there in here in Europe, that the wife used to laugh. The friends will be laughing at him. What are you doing in the kitchen with your wife?
Yes.
Why are you helping your wife?
You need to stay away from people that you know that when they say it doesn't make sense. Just stay away, because see, eventually it will get into your mind. No matter how we say, whatever somebody says to me, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Eventually, that thing will keep ringing in the back of your head. If you have an issue with your wife, you will now start to say,
bring it up.
After all, Femi doesn't do this. Exactly.
It's because I'm doing this. That's why you are seeing me finish.
Exactly.
You see me finish because I stay with you at home.
Exactly.
After work.
Exactly.
Because
And you know what? This thing, if you had a good background, you won't even hang around people like that. Because I remember, oftentimes my brother would tell me, man, I've done away with that my friend. That my friend, his thinking is very crazy. Because he knows that at the end of the day, when he closes the door, it's just him and his family.
Yeah.
You know? So if he keeps letting people with toxic advice come into his home, eventually everything will pack up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my own point of view. You know, I want us to start looking at things on an individual level. If you are a disrespectful person, you are a disrespectful person because that is who you are. It's not because it's African culture.
Yeah.
If I also base African culture on my own experience, it's a total different reality.
Yeah. So I think we need to start breaking down what we mean by this African culture.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you mean by African culture? Do you mean the traditional roles in terms of women staying at home, taking care of the children, and the man bringing in all the income? What do you mean?
Exactly. In the past, men used to climb a palm wine tree to tap wine and sell wine. Can you still do that?
Exactly. That's why I said to one of my callers, the traditional man is the one again. I said to him, I said, you know what? We got to be fluid. These things are not written on. They are not written on rocks that you cannot change.
And even
you can't say this is how my parents did it. I must do it like that.
Traditionally, in my culture, in my own Yoruba culture, at least from my own village that I know, the man and all his children and wives, they go to farm. Some other wives, they carry the farm produce to market to sell. Everybody is contributing. So what African culture are you talking about?
Yeah.
None of my grandmothers sat down at home as stay-at-home wives.
No, they didn't.
They didn't. A lot of women said they had children by different men and they cater to them by themselves. Hustling, running up and down. So what African culture are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, it's also African culture for men to have many wives or to cheat. Are you going to do that now? You expect your wife to be happy with you or to just look away? No, they won't.
Yeah, they won't. And even that is by person, because I know African men that only had one wife for generations.
Yes.
So you can't generalize. If you have a problem, if you are badly behaved, say, look, I am badly behaved. This thing is not favoring me. It's not working for my family. How can I change myself? How can I have a conversation? A lot of them just need to have conversations with people that are in their lives, their wives, their girlfriends. That's what they don't know how to be vulnerable, and then they look for all sorts of excuses. We couldn't even pinpoint one reason why they are being emasculated. They kept going up and down, round.
I was asking the question directly. Did I ask the question? I asked the question directly. Some said, oh, the laws favor the women more, sometimes. And some said the laws don't even favor the women. It's a level playing ground. And it's men that said it. It's men that said it, wasn't me.
Yes, in this country, in a divorce, if the woman is earning more money, you have to pay something to the man.
Yes, you have to.
So what's the favor? Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, baby. You've made too much sense. No I appreciate your call. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. We are rounding up now. Hey, whoa.
Auntie B! Auntie B, am I screaming? Let me know whether to reduce my voice.
Are we screaming?
Yeah, you are screaming, yes.
Okay. Baby has calmed us down.
Baby made too much sense.
Baby, take palm wine from Canada, please.
Baby, drink one Coke.
No, Coke is too. Baby,
palm wine for
baby, you are a quality woman with so much common sense, loaded with wisdom and well dispersed for everyone to understand. So logically, without any mistake. And for that, we salute you honorably.
I haven't said that. So the matter, Auntie B, you know what? We come with solutions. One solution. This is a case of traditionalists versus modern women. We're not able to meet our
these modern women. What do you put your camera? I want to see your face.
We're not able to meet our co-debater today, traditionalist man, and the one with the upper head.
Yes, but we know
we know that they are there and their kinds are there in the comment section.
That the one Tunaija said that it's the African values that we're holding marriages together and we are debating against them here. He said that in the comment section.
No, but women, in the olden days, women were in marriages suffering because they had no choice. If they went back home to their parents, they would send them back to their quote-unquote husband's house. If they had issues in their marriage and they were not obviously financially stable, where would they run to? That's why you have women in the suffering of the marriage safe. You have some women in the olden days, their husband will die when they're in their 30s. They will refuse to marry because they know they don't already suffer from the first marriage. They already suffer.
They will say they are married to their sons.
They will say they are married to their sons because they don't want any man to come and marry them again because of their experiences. So when people talk about culture,
it doesn't mean that that they were happy. People talk about marriages from God and how they came together and they were happy. Some of them were not happy. They were just together, suffering and smiling.
Yes, and Auntie, Tunaija said that his parents have been married for 38 years. Baba of last week has been married for 38 years. Let us be connecting these dots. So
I don't think they're the same because Tunaija says in Boston, Baba says
it's in a different state.
Baba says in Texas.
No, Tunaija stays in the UK. He said he stays in the UK.
Okay.
Yes, that's why I was shocked when he said that here that he was talking about how Sublima. What did he call it?
Okay, yeah,
how
I see that.
legislations, how to make some laws to affect certain people. Yeah, which I agree with. I do agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, so me, I'm here to talk to traditional man and all fellow traditional people. Both men and women.
I don't think traditional man was traditional in his thinking, no.
Now I won't enter. So traditional man, with all due respect.
Speaking for the modern women in the house.
No. Let me say it this way. With all due respect, traditional man, we respect your views. My own contribution be say, any person will be traditional person in your views. You are entitled to it. But just make sure say you find your kind. If you begin to put your eye for modern woman to curb her to become traditional, then you are going to lose this battle, because I know
nobody make me laugh. Make you go here. The most village where they for inside bush. Go bring one local beautiful. You know those one they see for home video where you find where yellow like in Kirunka. You go fine, where get straight.
Yeah, pure.
You speak one word of English. Now that one be the most traditional girl you can think of. Bring and come America, give her 2 years.
Yeah, and they don't even go to America. Let them go to Lagos. America too far.
Yeah,
let them go to.
Where they go see traditional like that again? Yeah. Are you kidding?
Another thing when I want to talk, we say culture. We did a very detailed research topic on our channel about African culture, and we used an article written by a Nigerian man. Now there's some very good African culture, and what is culture? According to that article, say culture is caught and not taught, which means that they not culture. Most likely the culture you adopt, whether from your family or from your environment where you are raised, is based off of what you see. So culture it's not something that is tangible. It's what you see. People don't even have to even tell you. You assimilate them. That's why Babim said you have to cut off some toxic people that come and make passive comments like that, because you will think you can overcome it, or you're bigger than all those things. Very soon it starts creeping into your mind. So that's culture, right? Now, if you're going to talk about because the traditional value Mendes is what's causing divorce rate, let me tell you that culture can evolve. So when there's toxic culture, for example, during the time where they were killing twins in Nigeria, in southern part of Nigeria, when Mary Celestus came, I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
That's fine.
When she came and that thing, they were able to abolish it. You realize that if that toxic culture continued, we're not going to get Peace Square today. When going to sing all those things, that's to tell you that culture can evolve. And when any culture, any behavior, I don't want to use the word culture, any behavior that undermines a fellow human being
based on their genitals,
just because the woman get pekus and the man get penis, that's a toxic behavior.
Toxic.
And another thing is that you will call me a modern woman or a feminist.
That's your business.
No, that is fine. I just want to let you know that I am a princess born by a king who happens to be an Urobo man, and my father, Abi our papa, is not a traditional man. Does he believe in good values and ethics?
Man is not a traditional man. Are you serious?
Our own father, not to say my own. I still say not my papa.
Now, two of us now.
Our own father.
Yes, and this is the reason why I'm saying it, because there are some things that our mom told us one time. There was a time my mom was expecting, and obviously, I was in the oven then, right? And there was this night she was really, really crying. You know that in those days, they have this, nice, they call it like the African tradition where the man's friends will come to the house, the woman go cook, he go serve, even if the food, not even they said, they go give the last food to them. And so at night, my mom could not really sleep and she was crying. My dad said, honey, why you dey roll for bed? Now, is anything the matter? My mama said, my dear, the baby is hungry. He said, no food. I carry everything to give your friends when come. That was the day my father took decision and say, when the friends come again to come chop, he said, Lila, food no day. Go marry your food. Yeah, so that is, we didn't say that that's a toxic culture or anything. We'll say, okay, there's African culture where people come to your house to eat, but not to the detriment of your wife and your unborn child. So what am I saying? Now my father evolved just by being empathetic, just by looking at the face of his wife, the woman who is carrying his unborn child. When you go for somebody, when you have empathetic towards another person, there's no amount of culture. There's no amount of culture that will make you undermine that person or be under the excuse umbrella that our culture is a way to do this thing, just to oppress.
Remember that lady that called in my last live show? You were here now. You and your sister were here now. That's Mama that called in from the US. She's in her 70s. She said when she got married, that she was told to talk if her husband is talking.
Yes,
she
remember that one. Yeah,
and she lived in that marriage for over 40 years before her husband died. But I think that woman has become a feminist at 70.
Of course, because she advised her son.
You know, see when she was talking that day, she was talking so emphatically. She was like, I'm speaking on behalf of the girls.
Yes.
That today, I took it. I took it.
That mama is one of the only women that call to advise the men. Have you noticed that they're always advising women?
And I'm very
what women should do.
Apart from that, we're very happy that woman called, because I remember in the comment section, somebody said that, oh, all these ladies here, when you now wait till you have your own sons and come back. So when Mama called and said, I have told my son they should never mistreat their women. They should never, because she would not support it. That's a woman that has passed through pains and said, I'm going to break that cycle by making sure that my sons don't carry on that trademark. Are you getting what I'm saying? So everybody can evolve. If you choose to care, if you are a father, any man can be a father, because after all, if you get
spent when they work, you go father children.
But not every father can be a daddy. A daddy is somebody that loves. We did Father's Day video last year. We put it back again for this year for African fathers to go and watch. African fathers, tell your male and female children that you love them. Tell them that you are proud of them. Tell them that you are happy that you are a father because they are born.
They call you daddy.
Treat their mothers with kindness. Treat their mothers with love. Treat their mothers with respect, because you are the mirror that they are seeing. Head, person when be head, you know they talk say be head. People know.
People crown the king. Now people will tell you. You don't need to be saying.
Come on, sisters. Hold on. I guess somebody in the house, Dr. Quezo. Okay. I'm adding him. He's got something to say. Is he a man or a woman? Hello, Dr. Quezo.
Hello. How are you, sister?
Oh, good evening. So happy to have you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you very much for hosting this show.
Thank you. Where are you joining us from?
London.
Okay, what do you have to say? We're talking about the Western society emasculating men and the role of absentee fathers in the lives of children.
Okay, yeah, this is a good topic. I want to say that it's complicated because it really depends on the people and the circumstances. So I actually think that some of us ladies need to take some responsibility. Which men are we choosing to marry? Which men are we choosing to have kids with? Because I know that there are many good men out there, but a lot of women don't find them attractive because what's happened is before in African culture, and I want to kind of backtrack a little bit because the lady said that we have to speak at an individual level. You know, that's not true. The truth is you have to speak at both the individual and also the cultural level. There's two things there. There's individual and of course there's culture. Culture means generalization, but we have to be careful not to overgeneralize. But we do have to accept that both are existent. For example, in African culture, we value children. It doesn't mean every man or woman values a child, but that's the general culture, right?
Yeah.
So what I would like to say here is that because when we come to the West, we're dealing with a different culture. Over here, it's more about the love, the individuals feeling a certain thing that they want from that relationship. Part of it is physical attraction. And I would like to say a lot of ladies do not find the kinds of men who are good to be physically attractive.
Yeah.
And this is where the issue is. And
I agree.
And of course, sister, usually when people develop, right, the man who is very good looking, very rich, and is wanted by everyone doesn't need to develop himself as a person, because his character, no matter how bad it is, people will let him have his way. Yeah. So usually the kinds of person who a lot of these women want do not have the character that is good for them for family. Yeah. The very attractive man is not a very good father in general. There's some exceptions, but this is generally the case. So as ladies, have to be really, really conscious here. What do we want in the world? Unfortunately, you can't have everything. That's just reality. Yeah. You cannot have everything. You have to choose. Do you want someone who is very attractive, but you don't know, you just hope he's going to be good? Do you want someone who is maybe, and again, I'm not saying you should go for unattractive guys either, because some of them are bad. Always seek the character first, obviously. Yeah. But I'm just saying there's a lot of correlations here, which we have to be honest what we're looking for. Yeah. And that's something which I don't think has really been brought up yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And when it comes to being emasculated, do you feel like living in the West and men coming from Africa to live here, the system is emasculating men and perhaps African women who they are in relationship with?
Yes, I believe so. So, but I also think that obviously we have to be careful here because we're changing from two different systems and there have to be integration from both sides. Yeah. But I do believe that the Western society is more feminist. And again, all power to ladies out there. But there's a very fine way that we have to bring the two cultures together. A lot of men in these countries do not have power. And by power, I mean they don't have a place. Because, you know, for a culture and a relationship to work, someone has to feel that, okay, this is my place. This is the value I bring into this relationship. But if the man doesn't actually feel like he has value because she can earn as much as him, she even reminds him too much often, that's another issue there, then what is his value in that relationship? I'm not saying it's only money. I'm just saying you have to begin that conversation. We have to recreate the value system where the woman brings something, the man brings something. And I do believe in this culture, a lot of men do not have a place anymore because it's not obvious what their value is in the relationship. Yeah. We don't tend to respect men.
And what's responsible for them not having that place, or what do you feel is responsible for the reason why a lot of women, somebody said earlier on that women are doing much more better in the diaspora in terms of being financially independent than men. Why is this so?
There's a few reasons. Okay, so I grew up in the education. I grew up since I was 9 in Africa, and then I came here when I was 10 years old. What I recognized is that actually the school system itself is actually against boys, especially boys who are black. What happens is there's a systematic sort of exposure against them. So what happens is the ladies, if you look at the statistics, actually do better in school. And of course, they usually are promoted easier at workplaces. Despite all the sexism, the men are actually underperforming the girls. So this is part of the reason. Yeah. So the guys do not have a place. They don't have a place in school. And also when it comes to life, they're finding it a little bit more difficult because with this country, obviously, because of feminism, women were undervalued a lot. This is true, of course. Now they're trying to equalize it. But because a lot of these African men are not part of that system, they're seen as men, even though they're also experiencing racism. So they're actually being left behind because of how the system is structured right now. So a lot of these ladies are obviously earning more than the average man who's under 35. So this is also causing an issue because, again, women through history and evolution are more attracted to men who are better than them. This is normal because think about it. As a woman, you'll be pregnant for a period of time. You can't be looking after yourself. You need someone who you can trust will be able to defend you and your child. So it is natural for women to look for men who are more successful than them, but is finding it harder right now in the West. That is part of the problem.
So I've got boys and I've got a daughter as well. And I can tell you, I'm not trying to generalize. Like Bibin said, we need to look at families and specifics. But because a lot of people are saying that they disagree with your last point about how the system in school is promoting girls more. I would say to you that from what I've seen from our daughter and our sons, that girls are more hardworking. Boys tend to be lazy in school. Not all of them, but a lot of girls are more hardworking. They will put in the work. They will do their work on time. They will do their homework. You don't need to push them as much as you need to push the boys.
Yes, so what about this is true. This is true, but you see, boys and girls are a little bit different. Boys are actually supposed to be more rough. They're supposed to be more rude. They're supposed to be more, this is how a man is supposed to be. He's supposed to be able to fight the world, then get into himself. The problem with the boys here is, I remember myself, we were actually expelled more than the other boys from the other races. The issue here is that the boys are not given a chance to become men because we can't just be like girls. You know, the school system is designed more for girls than it is for boys. Boys do need to be able to fight through the system.
This system is designed for both sexes. The boys just don't do the work that they are supposed to do. That's the way I see it anyway. I think they are equal when it comes to school. What do you say? Yeah, girls, you're here listening.
Yes, the girls are here. This will be an even argument.
He has some points that he has made, though, but what is the quote from Malcolm X?
I want to quote this from one of my favorite activists of all time, Malcolm X. He said, and I quote, the most disrespected person in America is a black woman. And we also use this quote in her song, one of her music. So, yes, so there is discrimination, there's racism and whatever, but if you even look at it, when, let me use this extreme example, when a black man is killed, for example, you have George Floyd, God rest his soul, he gained more media coverage than all the women that were killed in America. For example, Breonna Taylor. So at the bottom of the scale is the black woman.
Yeah.
You see, like if you look at facts, if you look at stories,
not protected. Yeah.
Our race alone already puts us as an unhealthy disadvantage.
The black woman is really disadvantaged.
So we say we want to blame the women because they are more of go-getters and they are getting the degrees and they are getting the jobs. If you see that your women are doing this and you are inspired, you should be inspired to do at least at the same level or to do better. It shouldn't be a thing of who is being oppressed more by the system. What is the system?
The system oppresses all of us. And I'll say this before I let you go. A typical example is in the US. A lot of African men, Nigerian men, go to Nigeria to go and bring to marry. And then when they bring the wives, they take loans to send them to go and do nothing. And I keep asking myself, let's say, for instance, you're doing security job and you go to marry from Africa, from Nigeria, you bring her to do nothing. Then she graduates, she earns more. Then there's already an imbalance there. And I ask myself, why can't you take that same loan and go to school yourself?
Exactly. Why be a taxi driver? Why can't you do
that yourself? Nobody stops you. Exactly. It's not only women that can do nothing. Why don't you train and improve yourself, knowing that you have more value to bring into the marriage?
You know,
what do you have to say, Dr. Quezo?
Well, okay, so I want to disagree with a few points. I would not, Black women are not more disrespected than Black men. I mean, the statistics are clear. More Black men are killed by everyone. More of them suffer from not even graduating high school. More of them are discriminated at job workplaces. The truth is, the facts are clear. Look at the crime rate. The death rate of Black men is so much higher than women. If women were the most disrespected, they'll be dying more, but they don't die more. So that just isn't true.
The women's stories don't get the story. Yeah, and the reason why I'm saying this thing, Dr. K, I respect your views and your opinion. They are really, really valid. But me, I'm talking from a point of public health person, right? And I schooled in the US. I was there for over 8 years or something. So mine is also based off of research and all that. The stories don't get heard at all. They don't get promoted. They don't get heard at all. And even when we have to do research to find out the women that are actually raising their voices for this awareness, sometimes you don't even see them out there in the media. You have to really, really, really search very deep. So which means you have to really be interested in the Black woman's issue to find out where those statistics are.
I think the reason, I will say personally from my observation, I don't have the statistics. You probably have it, Yo-Yo. I don't have it. But what I can observe, looking around me in the number of years that I've lived in diaspora, a lot of African men give up easily.
Exactly.
They give up easily, whereas the women keep pushing and we never stop. Because don't forget that when somebody is not driven, there's nothing you can do. You've got to have that drive within you to keep pushing. It doesn't mean that the first 10 CVs that you send, they're gonna say yes, that they're gonna employ you. But the Black woman never ever gives up. We just keep pushing until we get that job. But the Black man gives up easily. I'll give you an example. I saw a man the other day, and my sister is in the comment section here. Dosh, say hello if you're there. And I was telling her this story because it touched me. My car was in the garage and I was going to my sister's and I took a taxi. It was I think Uber. I took to her house and this man was the driver. He's a Nigerian man. This man was seriously overweight. The way he even adjusted his chair, he was sitting. I was worried. I was like, my God. And this job is not going to help him because he's sitting for so many hours a day, not exercising. And he was eating. He was still eating peanuts while he was driving. I was even scared because when they turn and he was using one hand to drive and eating peanuts, I was like, this man, please, no go carry me enter go jam trailer now. What's wrong with this one? My point is that he may have been doing that job for years, 20 years. It looks like he's an elderly man. He's been here for a while, I'm sure. The point is that some men, they take jobs that are meant to be like, what do you call them when you're a student, the kind of job that you do that is just supposed to be like a stepping stone to other things. And then they just get comfortable with it. Whereby you see, and women do that as well, but a lot of younger women and even older women, because I go to universities in London. Dr. Quezo, I don't know where you live in the UK. You see elderly African women studying degrees.
That is true here in Canada. My class, yes, I had an elderly African
women in their
woman.
50s. They are studying degrees. I'm wondering, these women, they've been working as carers for years. They say, I want to have this degree. I know I can get a better job if I do that. But you don't see African men in those classes, older African men in such classes. Some even have the degrees, they don't use them. It's not all of them, but the point is that I feel personally that women are more resilient and we never stop. That's the way I see it. I might be wrong, but that's the way I see it.
Well, okay, on that point, you do have a point. Even my mom, she's doing a degree at the moment.
Serious? That's an amazing woman.
She's doing a degree. How old is she?
She's in her 50s, so she's pushing forward. Okay, yeah. I think the last point, you do have a good point there. I can see it actually now that I look back. Some men definitely, like, let's say they get a job in security. In fact, I just graduated 4 months ago, and I was finding it difficult to find a job because the market is not good. And I was even thinking, okay, I'm gonna start the warehouse job, but I knew if I started, I would get stuck there. So you know what? I just kept pushing, applying for hundreds of jobs until finally I landed the job I have now. Right. I understand that some people, in fact, I have a friend who I went to university with. He graduated from engineering as well, but right now he's still working in construction instead of just persevering and getting the job.
Yeah, or he can still work there, but he doesn't stop applying because he knows that he can do better. You can't just give up on your dream.
Well, it's worse because I offered him a job at my company, but maybe because of pride, he didn't want to take it.
You see?
Because I even told him, you can just take it for 6 months, then use me as a reference to get through the door. So I see your point.
Dr. K, you have
Dr. K, you have wisdom.
You came to this realization yourself by me just pointing out, because I've got boys, and I tell you, my daughter is so hardworking, and I look at the brother sometimes, I'm like, he's very laid back, he's very, very lazy, and I say the sister, okay, pushing him, do this. I'm wondering, they are not so much older than each other, so I know that women were very hardworking, much more hardworking than boys. So boys need a little bit more push to get things done.
Let the fathers push the boys.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Quezo.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Auntie B, I want to add one more point, please. I want to also talk to some of the African men. Yeah, some of the African men, I want to also appeal to them. Sometimes some of them, not all of them, we be comparing the Black women to Asian women. But we never compare the African men to the Asian men. And when I mean Asian men, I mean the Chinese or the Indians. After all, they all immigrate to the diaspora.
And they're brown.
And they're brown too. And
they also get discriminated.
They're also marginalized too. And they set up businesses. They also
gas stations.
But I don't think I have heard an African woman say, they see your fellow Indian man. They see your fellow Chinese.
I told the man from Edo State that what was that his name? I can't remember. That had the head on the thing. I told him I work Asian to Nigeria. I told him I work in Asian community. Who told you say they know they divorce? They are divorced. They're divorced. The divorce.
If you want to know, if people want to know about other people's culture,
let them be your friends.
Go apart from let them be your friends. Let them be your friends. Attend their events and do research. You will find out that we are all human beings at the same time. Even come on YouTube, you will hear their stories. We are all humans at the same time.
We have the same issues.
Nothing makes us, things like that. Anyways, thank you so much, Auntie.
Auntie B, we're still here. Let other people talk.
Stay here, just stay here. Hey, saying I know the quick go. Now me and I go finish and today. We don't stay here 3 hours. I have Zig. Okay.
Hi, Auntie B.
Hello, Sizzla. You want to cut my tongue with this your name?
Anyways, I'm Olluchi. You can just
Olluchi. That's better. Olluchi is a beautiful name. Why are you giving me Sizzla?
Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's okay, sweetheart. Go on. Where are you calling from?
England.
All right. Shoot.
Okay. Yeah. So I just have I just wanted to make a point, a quick point.
Yeah.
I came to England at the age of 14. And my mom, she was in England already. She works with the NHS.
Yeah.
And my father came to England at the age of 58. So he was actually old. But he had to like come over here and support his wife and stuff. But I've been really surprised because I've had a lot of people saying a lot of awful things. But my father is just the best father to be. Like, he's been so supportive. Like, it's like, I don't know, like he's supported us from day one till this point. I'm 26 and he's still there supporting us and stuff. And he's a typical Igbo man. Like, my father is a typical, like a traditional Igbo man, but he's still someone that he will go in the kitchen and cook for us. If we are studying and stuff, he will just enter the kitchen. He will.
Wow, that's nice.
Even our clothes and TV, he still washes our clothes, fold it for us, and keep it in the parlor. Then we'll come pick it up. So I think like a lot of African men should be open to supporting their partner. It's so important, because if he was to just stay at home and my mom be doing everything, it would be a struggle, you know, to be honest. So yeah, I think a lot of African men to try and support their partner and stop trying to act like the Oga. You understand? Like, England is hard. Even if England is hard enough, you need two people to build up. You know? But yeah, that is all I have to say, Auntie V. I've been following this show.
That's so lovely.
Thank you so much.
God bless you, love. Thanks for joining me. Yeah.
All right, bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Moving on quickly to That Truth. Hello, That Truth. Are you here?
Yes, I am. Good evening.
Okay. Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where are you joining me from, please?
I'm calling in from Maryland.
All right. Go on.
Yeah. So I saw a lot of things a lot of things being said in the chat, and a lot of people saying things on the call. And I just wanted to point out, you know, on the surface value, the laws are, you know, based on an even playing field. All right. But in reality, in practice, it's not. You know, so one thing that people don't realize is that when you have a child custody case in the United States, I can almost guarantee you 8 times out of 10, it favors the women.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what the man does. As a matter of fact, I've seen cases. And so, you know, just so you know, divorce cases or child custody cases are public information in America. So you can actually go in on their websites and pull up information about, you know, those types of cases, and you can read what's happening. I've seen cases where the woman has been to prison, has endangered the child, and just done all kinds of things, and they turn around and grant the woman custody.
Yeah.
And so it happens all the time. And so when people think that, oh yeah, let's everything is straightforward, or it's, you know, it's an even plane. It's not an even playing field. It's, you know, and so that emasculates men. So all it takes, you know, so as an example, all it takes for a woman to gain custody in America is for her to make up a lie. All she has to say is, oh yeah, you know, hey, he abused me.
Yeah, whether it's true or not. I mean, don't they even ask for evidence? They don't ask for any evidence at all.
They ask for evidence, but you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, so it depends. It really depends on the judge. So the thing is, judges wield a huge amount of power, and so what can happen is, if it's a reasonable judge, the judge can say, well, you know, you have to show me evidence. I have to see the evidence in this matter before I rule in your favor. But there are judges that just don't care.
Yeah, they just give the children to the woman.
Yes.
And then the man is asked to pay child support.
Exactly. And it takes a lot to try to change that. As a matter of fact, usually when that happens, it's virtually impossible to change the situation.
Yeah. Okay. That's a very valid point, which nobody has mentioned. And I kind of agree with you, because I've seen some cases in court, not here in the US, that oh, it's not quite easy. Yeah. So that emasculates men, you said. Okay. Thank you very much, the truth.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I've got Bingpe. Bingpe, can you hear me?
Yes, Sister B, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Wow, it's good to call you. This is my first time calling on the live show.
Thank you.
I'm working, but I'm just like, you know what? I have to call in today because I saw your post, and the reason why I'm calling is because I saw your post on Instagram.
Yeah.
About the person's comment talking about, you know, men are being emancipated because it's matriarchal or whatever the person said. I said, you know what? I have to call. Yeah,
emasculated. They are being stripped of their main power. Manpower.
Okay. I said I have to call and, you know, share my own personal experience. It's not me directly, but it's to my sister. And this happened in Nigeria, not because I'm in America. It happened in Nigeria.
All right, share quickly because we got a lot of
very quickly. So she met someone few years and a long time ago. Then they got together. They had the first baby, second baby, third baby was a girl. She said she would stop, but the guy was like, "Oh, I want a boy." So she decided to have another girl.
Right.
Then after like a month or so after she had the baby, she died. Ooh. So, and these kids, they were young then. The first one was, I think she was like maybe 7 years old or so. She's about I think 13 or 14 now. Wow. Then my mom said, okay, bring these children to come and visit us. Then the man, could you believe that the week that my sister died, he brought another woman into his house. The very week my sister died. Then my mother said, okay, bring these children to us. Let the children be staying with us. He brought the children. The day he brought the children to our house, he has never gone back since 2014 that he took those 4 children and go and drop them at my parents' house. Till today, I've called him several times from America. I've called him 2 or 3 times. Please go and check on your kids. They are your children. Nobody is taking these children from you. The baby was about just 1 month.
Was the baby a boy? The one your sister was having?
They were all girls. They were all girls.
Even the last one that took her life is a girl.
Yes, was a girl.
So is it that he doesn't want anything to do with the children because they are girls?
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe that's why he has been staying away. I have no idea.
I think so.
That he didn't go back. So and so many other stories like that, because I want to take you back to the reason why you did this live video about talking about men being emancipated. If you want to put the percentage down, there are so many absentee fathers for no reason. I understand there's some situation where the man, they can't help it, they are being emancipated. The women are taking advantage of the fact that she has the custody of. I know, but if you want to be fair, so many women are raising kids by themselves that they are not supposed to raise. For every single mother out there is a single father. Oh, yes. They didn't just impregnate themselves. Somebody slept with them, or you people do a mistake, or however it came about. It has happened. You have to be there in the life of your kids. Either it's a mistake, or is intentional, or is not intentional. You have to be there. So all this excuse we are making is matriarchal, is patriarchal, is emancipated. Is not the point. Is you
don't sound all this big English. You know, concern you.
I think my sister, it tire me.
Take care of your pikin. Whether you divorce, divorce, whether
emancipated or patriarchal or matriarchal or whatever tracker he came about. Just take care of these kids. It's your child. That's all. That's all. So that's why I said I was going to call today. I know there are women that have vindictive, that have, abused the system. But if you want to be fair, and the other guy that said about women have more power, or they quickly go more, or they have more. What was he saying about us? Being able to excel in our academics or anything.
Yeah, he said
I made that comment.
This is a women.
I disagree, because I was working 2 jobs. And I had to go to school, and my GPA was 3.50 upward throughout. And I was doing 2 jobs in America. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. But I'm not going to stop here, because there are so many other people, and I said I was going to call today. So it's good to call in.
Thank you, Bigbe. I see your comments all the time. I love you. Thank you so much, my dear. All the best. Thank you, my love. Yeah, so I see you, Amoye. I'm going to come to you in a minute. Let me add Ify and Joe. And okay, let's just have a party. Speak. Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, can I speak?
Yeah, go on, please.
Okay. Actually, this emancipation thing is a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
Would I say the system emancipated anyone? Of course, if you're of minority group, the system is not necessarily designed for you. But in terms of whether I emancipate black men in a relationship with fellow black women, is neither here nor there. Because I would say it depends on where the black individual comes from. Because if it's, I often find it problematic when a black man has lived in the West for so long that now they want to get married, they go back to Africa to find a wife or a partner. For me, in fact, the socioeconomic background of both of the people involved here is vastly different.
Yeah.
So on this basis, there's this power imbalance.
Yeah.
That is already there. So of course, the weaker partner will always seek to take advantage of the stronger partner, because that is what, I mean, anyone in poverty condition would do exactly that, because in any poverty situation, all you think about is how to survive. So whatever it takes to survive, you would do. So, and now the men saying, oh, there's this emancipation, I would say this is them bringing trouble into their own world. I don't see it as a system doing it for them. Similar, if you see the rich white men, when they marry, I think Paul McCartney, for example, after marrying Heather for just a couple of years, divorced. Heather wasn't that rich, but after the divorce, she got what she wanted.
Yeah.
Because Paul McCartney was rich. So in this sense, if you know you're not, at least the system also give you the opportunity to be cohabitant. You don't have to get married. So if you want to avoid any such thing of emancipation, you can as well just not marry and cohabit.
So is we're not talking about emancipation. We are talking about being emasculated by the system.
I don't think the system does any such thing, though, to be honest with you, because when I say I don't think it does such thing, it depends on the frame one looks at how the system deals with them.
Yeah.
Because look, everyone face one form of discrimination or another. It's just depend on what competence have you got to navigate that system for what it is. And unfortunately, now don't get me wrong, you do have a lot of sisters who I think sometimes they fail to understand the system, as I said again, is not necessarily designed for minorities.
Yeah.
Minorities will always find a brick wall at some point.
Yeah.
But when they expect a black man to perform like a white man in a white man's own system, I think there's a problem there. But at the same time, when a child is involved, that's the last call I think I do agree with on it. When a child is involved, then I would expect any man to take care of their responsibility. Whether you like the woman or not is irrelevant here. You do what you do to make sure, because you do know whatever, if the mother of that child is feeling bad, directly it will affect that child. So however you want to look at it, you may not like her.
Yeah.
But your child's well-being takes priority. And I think in the legal system, this is what the judges look at. They are not necessarily interested in the woman either. They are mostly interested in the child well-being. If this child is going to, I mean, you cannot, I put myself in that position. If my dad was a billionaire, suddenly because he divorced from my mom and I'm not meant to live the lifestyle that I'm accustomed to just because they split up, but he continues to live that lifestyle, come on, it doesn't make sense. So I think this is where a lot of African men have to take ownership of, because I've come to see a lot of children, to be fair, I think a lot of our black boys in the West suffer as a result of just this kind of breakup where the father just, I wouldn't say some of the dad don't try, they do, but when the system now, well, let's be honest, most black people are poor, even in the West here. So and now you have to find your way around a system you don't even understand. And then it becomes a big issue. But in terms of whether the system makes them, whichever way they claim it makes them, I would say for those with access to the resources in the system, if they truly want to be good with it, I think the opportunities are there.
Yeah.
But for those without the access, I think I can understand those ones if they complain, especially like the asylum seekers who are still in the process of getting whatever documentation, or those who are not educated that much and all those kind of things. But otherwise, I think the system is just there for what it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Ife. You made some really good points. Thank you so much. I appreciate what you said. The system is not designed for us. That's what I'm taking away from what you said. And instead of us to support one another, we are looking at who the system favors more within our community, whether it favors men or women. It doesn't favor any one of us. It's not designed for us.
It's not designed for us.
When you joined us, if one gentleman here was saying that how the system is not allowing people to have 9 or 10 children, whereas in Nigeria they can have 10 children. And I'm like, oh, you really want to? And I said, why? And he lives in the UK. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, oh, for instance, if your child go to school and they don't look clean, or they are unkept, or they don't have good shoes or good clothes, social services will visit you. I say, well, if you haven't got the resources, why do you keep having children in the first place?
I think that is a mentality thing that has to change. It's a mindset that has to change among our people, to be honest with you, because it seemed to me, because we come from a place of scarcity a lot of the time, this tend to inform our decision-making process. Not many people are taking the time to actually observe the science behind decisions they make.
Yeah.
And as I said, the system compared to even in Nigeria, because this idea that I get it. In Nigeria, oftentimes the system will look at who has the resources to take care of the child. So which often means it's mostly going to be the man that will have access to the children after a divorce or anything like that.
Yeah.
Whereas in the West, there is a welfare system. So on that basis, it doesn't have to be the man.
Yeah.
And when you actually look at it in real sense, the man is always going to be working. So what time really, let's be honest with ourselves, what time has he got to take care of children compared to the woman who, as we know, most part-time workers tend to be women. And oftentimes they are more flexible. This is why when it comes to the career choices, a lot of them pick. It doesn't tend to be those with strong career path. So on this ground, there are advantages of course, when we say they hold more degrees, true. But then we have to look at what type of degrees are we even looking at here in comparison to the few men who holds degree when it comes to earning potentials.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, those you hear with the divorce stories are not necessarily those on the high part of the Black culture, to be honest. It's mostly those are the lower spec of it.
It's all across. It's all across, my brother. It's everywhere. It's all across. But we have to, it's meant to be complementary when you go into relationships. It's meant to be complementary in terms of picking the pieces up where one person can't and the other person do the other thing and just working together. That's what
I think that is where we need to actually build, because I have my aunties in Nigeria and I saw how they worked with their husbands, built a lot of things. And sometimes, oftentimes I ask myself, why is it it's not like the ladies, the Black ladies I see in Europe are not the same. They are. It's just somehow, I don't know where the disconnect.
Yeah.
There seem to be this disconnect.
There's more awareness, there's more education, there's more exposure, and women don't want to put a lot of our parents, the men did put our mothers through a lot of bullshit. Let's be honest. Not all of them, but most of these men, our fathers, our forefathers, they did quite a lot to our mothers and they stayed. And that's what my aburos here were saying, common sense sister. Women don't want to take that anymore. They don't want to. So anyway, thank you so much.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed talking to you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Yeah, bye-bye. So we've got Joe. Joe, are you here? Joe? Okay. I'm going to move on to the next person because we got quite a few people and I'm trying to round up. I have never done this length before. Joe is disconnected. Okay. Mudiwa, are you here?
Hi, absentee. Hi,
Hello,
absentee.
how are you?
I'm fine. I'm just going to take a few minutes. I want to say, I think, about 3 points. I think the first thing is that Africans in general need to consider when they're immigrating is to look beyond opportunity and financial benefits and think about, if I'm going to build a life there, build a family there, what is the culture? What are the social norms? What is the lifestyle? What is it that I want for myself? And can I fit into that construct? Because I think that that's an aspect that people don't think about. And I think you've had a couple of shows, because I follow your channel quite a bit. You know, when people have talked about their children, teenage children, they've come from Africa, and these children have a completely different culture, and there's a disconnect. And it also is happening now in the relationship sphere. So if you're a really, you know, attracted to African values, attracted to that lifestyle and the way, the communal Ubuntu way of living, and just the way things happen on the African side of things, then it's worth considering to say, is this life for me? Because sometimes getting a visa can be the death of you. Sometimes getting that visa can be you walking away from your opportunity and your best life. So I think also we need to get out of that mindset that my best life, my fortune, you know, the best version of a family, a relationship, and me that I can experience can only be found if I cross the ocean. And this perspective that, you know, you're just thinking about, if I take £1 and convert it to Naira or to Rand or to Cedis, this is how much it's going to be. But there's a whole lot of other things beyond that. And I think the reason why as Africans we focus just on the financials is because I think we suffer from a form of poverty trauma or lack trauma, if you can call it that. So a lot of what we do is like politics of the stomach. It's driven by, no, let me just go. If I make, you know, £1,000, if I convert it, then I'll be able to do this and that. But there's not a holistic way of looking at what does this mean for my whole life. Now, going to the next point, which is about relationships, I think that as society has developed, industrialized, you know, become technologized, and women have come into the workplace, equal access to education and so forth and so on, it's created a different dynamic in terms of why people come into relationships. Because if we think about, you know, a century plus ago, and not just in the African context, but across the board, marriage was primarily a social and economic contract. You know, you have children, the tribe must continue. We need warriors, we need farmers, we need this and that. You can have 2 wives, so you have more children, so there's more labor and so forth. And there was a very clear distinction in terms of roles, who does what. So when we're getting into this arrangement, what is the purpose of doing this? And this is why a woman, for example, who couldn't have children in the traditional setup would actually say to the husband, I found a beautiful girl down across the hill who we should marry, who can come and have children for us, because it was understood what the purpose of that construct was. But as development has happened economically, industrially, technologically, the role of people has changed. And also it means that the dynamics of relationships change. So I think we need to start thinking about, how do we start having conversations and negotiations about what is it that we want from each other when we're coming into this marriage? Because I don't think people are divorcing because this one doesn't cook and this one doesn't wash plates, and I've just finished 2 shifts and you expect me to wash plates. I don't think that's the fundamental reason for divorce, because there are some people who can afford hired help. I know in Africa, certainly urban modern Africa, where, you know, there is also a sort of a layer of the society that lives a fairly Western kind of lifestyle, who have the finances, you have hired help, you have people who can wash your dishes, do your laundry and all of that. So the disparity in the relationship is not about whether dishes are being washed by the man or the woman and food is being cooked by the man or woman. It's about fundamentally at the core, what is it that we need from each other? What is it that binds us together? Because it's no longer about this one is the provider and this one who has the children, and this is the one who does this. It's no longer as structured as it was 50, 100 years ago. It's now, you know, if you look at the sort of, I think you're a social worker, you know, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know, so we're getting to a higher level, that, you know, self-actualization. So it's now more psychological, emotional, relational. Those are the needs that people come into relationship with. So the question is, how do we negotiate what we expect from the other person? And I liked what one of the other callers said, when I got into the marriage, I was doing too much. I was doing my shift, taking out the bin, I was cooking and all of that. And I was exhausted. I couldn't perform intimately with my husband. And that was also a problem. And I had to get to a place where I renegotiate. What is it? How is it that we want to manage this relationship? And I think that's an important thing, because until we get to a place where we start really rethinking that, there's always going to be this man versus woman, gender, culture, this, that, or the other. I don't want to get into the culture thing because I feel like African culture is amazing. And a lot of what people call African culture is a fraud, it's corruption. But that's another topic for another day. I don't want to get into that. But what I'm basically trying to say is we need to rethink why are we getting into this relationship? What do we want from each other? How do we create that connection?
Yeah. We need to think the reasons why we're getting into relationships and marriages.
Because it's not financial. It's not just financial. Because the moment it's only financial, then the problem is, if I don't need you to pay bills
for most
anymore.
Women, it is financial, to be honest, Mudiwa. I don't think it is financial for most women. I don't think it's financial. It's more like there's a lot
of doesn't need to be the provider. So if the man doesn't need to be the provider, if he doesn't really need to be the protector, then what is the role that we want him to play? Is he wired to play that role? Does he understand it? Have we negotiated well for it? And if I'm not going to be the one that cooks and cleans, if he can do that for himself, he can iron his own shirts, he can do all of these kinds of things, and I don't have to be the domestic carer, then we are coming together. What is our interaction going to look like?
What is it for? Before I let you go, Mudiwa, you've articulated your thoughts very, very intelligently and giving some really good points. But I want to ask you this. This is a comment by, I believe, a man. I've just pinned it. And he said, modern women have lost their way. They want to be a Western, they want to be a Western culture, but they are not. What do you say to that? He's talking to African women.
I think I would say this. I think that naturally any human being, when they go to a different society, a different place where things are done differently, they are going to assimilate to whatever is done there. It's natural. Take a woman from the village and put her in Lagos for 5 years. She's going to become a Lagos woman. Take someone from one city where things are maybe very hectic and fast and put them in a town where the pace is slower. In 5 years' time, they become like the people there. So it's not, I don't think it's about African women becoming Western or taking up values that are not theirs, but I think it's about the fact that the environment that they find themselves in puts them into a different role. And then when they are now in that different role, how do they renegotiate the parameters of the relationship? Because we are now in America. So I'm no longer in a place where I'm finishing work at 5, getting home at 6, asking the helper if she's cut the tomatoes and onions and cooking your meal and waiting for you. I'm now where I have to catch the subway and do another shift and all these other things. The dynamics are completely different.
So, and sometimes, Mudiwa, sometimes women are forced into these roles, not because we want to, but we have no choice. This is the situation that we find ourselves because of the environment, like you said. So we have to adapt.
Another thing I wanted to say in support is that also for I think there are a lot of traditional men that came on the show that said, women are losing their values and all of that. And I would say, I think someone said it very well in the comment section that if you're looking for a conservative, traditional type of woman, then that's the woman you need to find. If you go and find a modern, ambitious woman who is really focused on her career and that's what she wants to do, and then you want to turn her into something that she's not, then it's going to be a problem. And also, if you want a woman who will have your dinner ready at the table, who's not chasing after 3 shifts, then you must be able to provide so that she doesn't need to work. She can be at home looking through recipes, watching the home channel, watching Nigella, figuring out the recipes because she can just go and swipe at Marks and Spencer or Tesco's and buy what she wants and cook you this gourmet meal. But if you're not able to do that, and you need her to do other things, then you need to renegotiate how that system is going to work. The final thing I wanted to say is specifically about the system, about the Western system being emasculating to men. And this is what I want to say, is that the Western system, I don't think it advantages women or men. I think that it's an equal system. However, because we haven't learned how to renegotiate the terms of relationships, sometimes, not always, sometimes, women have weaponized the system against their partners to manipulate things to their advantage. So sometimes a woman will call the police, he tried to do this. Maybe he didn't try to do anything. She looked at his phone and she saw a message that she didn't understand. Asked him and she didn't get the answer that she liked. So instead of, you know, going through that process of managing those relationship dynamics, you say, well, I can weaponize the system and call the police on him. I'm not saying all women do it. I'm saying sometimes it happens. And it's not just women who do this. Men also do their own types of things in different ways. So I'm saying until we learn a way to manage the relationship dynamics and negotiate terms of relationships differently, that weaponization is also going to happen. When people are frustrated, they'll weaponize the system and leverage it to their own advantage. Men also will do their own thing, and it will carry on as a cycle of toxicity. The point we need to understand is the Western system is not designed for Black people, specifically not for African people. We are the bottom feeders in those systems. So if you go there and you choose to make yourself part of that system, understand that you need to hone your skills and you need to build a team around you, and your team starts with your family. That you're on the same agenda, you're on the same page. Otherwise, the system will mess you up and mess up your family and mess up your life. Your children will end up in child services and all of that kind of stuff because you didn't plan properly, negotiate properly, and put it out there. And the final thing I want to say, Auntie B, is that also these are broad guys.
Yes.
I've had a personal experience. I won't go into it. Have this attitude that when they're bringing a woman from Africa, they're helping you. Like they're doing you this biggest favor. And sometimes there are some women, we've traveled all over the world. The fact that we live in Africa, it's a choice because the opportunities are different. But there's this perspective that it's not like the woman is moving for love. She's moving because I created an opportunity for her. If a man is in Lagos and the woman is in Port Harcourt or in Abuja, and the woman moves to Abuja to be with her husband, no one looks at it differently. But if the man is in New York or if he's in Maryland and the woman moves from Lagos to be with him, it's like she's doing him a favor. It's like he's doing her a favor. That attitude needs to change. That attitude needs to change.
And
otherwise, marry the women there. If the women in America or London or Germany were so wonderful, why did you leave them and come and marry a woman who's a bank manager or who's a doctor or a surgeon in Lagos or in Accra or something, and then take her across the border and then try to make her feel like, oh, you're doing her a favor? You didn't do her a favor. You happen to decide to settle with this person.
Somebody is calling me. Sorry, I can't take the call because I got so many people waiting. Mudiwa, I'm going to tell you something. I agree with you. The last point you made about some men who go to marry from Africa, bringing their wives over, thinking that they are doing them a favor, is so true. And I tell you something. You say, if the women who live in the diaspora are so wonderful, why are you going to Africa to marry? The women in the diaspora, there are some women that are actually very wonderful. But the reason when a man, some men that thinks like that, the reason is because they feel, I'm going to get a more subdued woman, a more African woman, a woman I can control, a woman that will listen to me, a woman that will be more, not as, as self-determined as these Obodo women. But you know what? It doesn't always work like that. This is what you said, the example you made about going to pick a wife from somewhere and you bring them and you think they're going to go to school. They'll make friends. Even at the children's, let me tell you something. Mudiwa, I worked, and I keep making references to this because it's a complete Muslim community in this country, in this city, and they are all from Bangladesh. 80% of the people that live in that borough are from Bangladesh. And you know what these parents will do? They will go to Bangladesh to marry women to bring here for their sons. Most of them will not marry the Bangladesh second generation people here. So they will go to Bangladesh, go and marry these very pretty girls, really, really pretty, smallish looking, beautiful girls, and bring them. And some of them don't understand a word of English. And then they start to have children. And then they start to take children to school. They do school runs. And they don't work. Most of them will not work. They stay at home. The husband goes to work. The husband does. They don't understand the system. The only friends they have are family. Most times they live with their extended family, the man's family. And in some cases, there's domestic violence going on. They treat the women anyhow. And then they start taking the children to school. From the school gate, they start to make friends. And they start to learn. They start to learn that, oh, you can learn English. There's somewhere you can go to and you learn English that they start learning. The minute they start learning English and start learning that there's some money they pay that is called child benefits, the husband start getting uncomfortable that no, I didn't bring you here for that, you know. So there will be tension because they don't want the women to integrate. The reason why they marry them is because they want them to remain like they are in Bangladesh. But this woman will say, no. I'm in the UK. I must learn English. I want to go to school. And then what do you have? Problems.
Yeah, it's so true. So it's a manipulation tactic, which goes back to my point. They don't want to face women and renegotiate that and negotiate with the women the terms of the relationship. And likewise, also women, sometimes we don't confront issues and then we weaponize the law to deal with our relationship issues instead of having a conversation and saying, look, this is not working for me, or having a conversation, why don't we do things like this? And this thing of wanting to manipulate is so bad. It's terrible.
No, they don't have a voice. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much, Sina.
Thank you.
I enjoyed talking to you. Everybody has enjoyed you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right. So we are going to be rounding up now. Oh my God, I can see you. I'm so sorry. I know you've been waiting for a while. Let me quickly talk to, I don't know if she's still here. I'm unmuting your mic. Edie, is it Edie? Canan, your mic is on mute. Can you unmute it? I need to round up. Oh my God, I can't believe how long this conversation has been. Okay, your mic is on mute. So I can't hear you, Edie and Canan. Okay, Amayes Canan, let me come to you.
Hello.
Hello, Edie, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, quickly, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Canada.
Right.
Yeah, I joined kind of late, but I'm happy I still caught some of it. I'm hearing some things. I just wanted to talk about the part about absentee fathers, or at least the importance of the father role in children. So
yeah.
I'm speaking from experience, and I grew up like this, so I thought it was something normal until I came here for school and saw the difference in the relationship some other students had with their fathers. And now I'm almost in my 30s, and it's still the same thing. So when I first came here, you know how some children, it's just their mothers calling them every day or every week or something like that, and then they're only hearing from their fathers maybe like once every 3 months or something.
Yeah.
My dad was even calling me more than my mom is calling me. And I saw that as something normal because my dad has always been extremely involved, not just in paying school fees and bringing money home for food, but in development, in education, and all of that. So I heard, other students from Nigeria saying things like, "Oh, I've not heard from my dad in the past 3 months or something," and like it was like a normal thing. Like that's the kind of relationship they have always had with their dad since they were kids. You have that thing, I don't know. I don't like using this African culture thing because I don't really know what it means. But like it's like children are more close to their mothers than their
closer
fathers.
to their mothers than their fathers.
Yeah.
But some children are closer to their fathers than their mothers.
Yeah, and in like maybe rare or unique cases, but like it's seen almost as a normal thing for your African dad to not really express emotions
or to tell you I love you. Does your dad tell you I love you?
I love you. Sorry?
Your dad, does he tell you I love you?
He does. I think as he's getting older too, is like he's beginning to realize more and more the importance of being expressive emotionally. He wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
When it comes to expressing emotions, he will act them out. He will be extremely interested in everything that has to do with you. But when it comes to verbalizing it, he won't really say. But as he's getting older, he's seeing the importance of that as well. So I just wanted to talk about that part, the importance of presence of fathers in raising children, not just financial presence, but emotional presence is very important because now I'm like I'm a woman now, and I can definitely see the importance of having a father like that. I can't imagine how I would be if I didn't have a father I can run to when I have problems, talk to. My dad can stay up late at night talking, worrying about what's going on with us. So it's not just about I don't know, I think sometimes men should just forget about tradition or culture or how the society is and really think of the benefit, because at the end of the day it's going to benefit you. really,
thank
you
you.
have that kind of
Yeah, you made a good point. Thank you. Raheem, the discussion is not one-sided. We started off with men. If you watch it, you watch the playback, you will see a lot of men called in earlier on. So it's not one-sided. It's now that women are calling in. Thank you, Eddie Kaner, for joining me. Have a good evening. Yeah. Right. I'm going to come to Omoye's corner. Hi, Omoye. Can you unmute yourself?
Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm so sorry. I feel like the people that I know that I've had so much interaction with are always the one I come to last. It's because I know you guys. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I understand. I've been listening patiently in the background. Man, all the points so fine. Chai. I wish I had palm wine right here.
Somebody thought say we should speak English. Oh, speak pidgin. I beg, we could speak pidgin. Smile. Everybody for here pidgin. See.
Okay. English. Pidgin are my first name. No wahala. Unto pidgin matters. Okay. Everybody when don't talk for this platform, eh? Oh my God. All of them make sense. Die. In fact, I don't add knowledge during the one when I know before. It don't increase. Before now like 70%. Now it don't enter the 90, but I don't want brag. So make I leave out for like 80 something.
Don't go. Hit us. We'll go.
So what do you want to talk? We say the summation of the matter now. Transformation of the mind. Learn, relearn, unlearn.
You and Timon sisters not relate. Since they talk like them.
Maybe we relate to because they make sense. Die.
They talk the same way. I go say that your sister. I say transformation of the mind. Talk again. Relearn, unlearn.
Relearn, unlearn. Relearn, unlearn. Throw away the one where you know they walk. Take the one where they walk. Add curry join, add turmeric, add ginger, put pepper, make and work for you.
Yeah.
Conversation, talk, communicate, man, woman, what do you want? How I want them, how we want to build our life. It's not about we have to follow one way. One way, not they work all the time. You did new environment. Figure out how you go to make and work for you. I know friend when you come here from Nigeria, the way the woman they do for Nigeria and the man expect her to they do, come back from work, cook for her, everything. The woman, he fall sick, bang. Come on. So we need to learn, unlearn, relearn. They train ourselves to be better human beings. We can't continue to do the same things over and over and over. Now, accident we won't get, now be that now.
Yeah.
Now that one me won't talk because I know so you don't do this life. I do the sorry for you. To say I did that, they give you cold water, they find you self-joy.
Water don't turn to hot water as I don't take.
Yeah, you don't try. In fact, this topic, you do.
Thank you, Omoye.
River. I salute you from where I did. You do where you try. All the points were great.
Yeah,
so I don't get much to add. My own the only thing we say transformation. May everybody start to learn to unpack waiting exactly. That's all.
Now common sense sisters. Yeah, that was the lady where just talked just now. Say in the way you put it, say negotiating. Is renegotiating.
Exactly.
And the same thing when they talk transformation. Now the people we go they renegotiate the terms of the relationship, you know, as things they change. We said they change, they follow them, you know. That
exactly. That kind of thing. We know the Nigeria again when we get house boy, driver, gate man, everything. You know, this one I do by yourself. You can't expect the same type of work again.
Yeah.
Expectation.
I go do I want to talk about why Obodo marriages they break. I don't get 10 points already. I write them down. That'll be my next video where I go do. And I go do on live. And one of the points when I get for that paper, they inside my room, we say the foundation of most marriages not good. You know they marry for the right reason. Most of us they marry for the wrong reason. So if we not can get this renegotiation and how you take call and so transformation, so now we say well the kata full grand now. Abi? Thank you very much. Thank you. Grace, Highness. Omoye, I love you, Die. Thank you very much, my love. Okay.
Auntie B, wait, first of all of you that are on this live, let me use English for people who might not understand Pidgin. We are over 360. We don't even reach. Okay, We have even reached 400 at a point. Yet you pass this stingy with your life. What kind of human beings they hide? Even if you go unlike the video, the traditionalists unliked and went. Why can't you like this video?
You don't know say you unliked. You don't
wait,
care.
traditionalists now unlike. We see them, we see their finger.
Wait. And those of you now don't hear the English version. This is not the broken version. According to the broken version, we get 5 fingers. If you use one finger now, take correct, click the like button now. It will turn blue. It will turn blue.
And I know some people don't know where the like button they want to show them where the like button they.
Are you a native doctor not to know where the like button
your thumb finger when you give somebody thumbs up. Click on it.
Yeah, some of them watch. Yeah, when some of them they watch from on a phone. Try to
it's like if he is back, oh.
You say what
are you here?
If you welcome back.
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
We can hear you.
Hi.
God,
we had another Ify earlier on. Okay, this is a female.
This is a female Ify. I think we had a male.
I think the Ify
was male. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can hear
you.
Okay. God. You guys forgive me. I'm at work. I'm just rounding up, but I'll quickly say something. You know what I want to add about this is that is when somebody hits a point. She was it? I think it's a male that actually no, it's a female. She said no, sorry, Sister Bray, you actually the one that say that our men give up easily and all that, and that's where my point will be coming from. If there's anything like emasculation of our men, somehow it comes from our own roots, and I'll prove my point. The fact that they are groomed from childhood to sit and watch television, while our mother will stuff us in the kitchen. You know, if it's a neighbor, they will say, do you want to go and disgrace me in your husband's house? It's not me that you go there to disgrace. They will make you sweep, you will cook, and then they will play, the boys will be playing ball and be, you know, it's like, life is a day. I don't know how to explain, but you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Another similar example is like when you have a house help, like we know our setting, and you're busy making that house help do everything while your child is not doing anything. And over time, the house help tend to, get used to the whole thing. And if the person goes, for instance, if they are tough and they go to a very tough place, they will survive. But your children won't, because you didn't train them and you think you're busy. You are doing the house help. No, you're actually doing your children. And this is exactly what happens to our men. Why they were training them like that, they were feeling like kings and all that. But they don't know that these will come around when things turn, and then they can't survive life because they're already used to being king. Similarly, is what happens to the Oyibos in Zimbabwe. They were being treated like queens and kings. The moment Zimbabweans began to chase them away, they couldn't survive in England because there you have to, no man, apart from the coronated queens and kings, you're your own. You have to work hard as a normal person. So when I look at all these things, these are what I see. And another point I want to also pick is when we talked about, like when they go to court, they are more likely to have the mother take care. But if it's in our place, they'll have the father take care because he has the more money. The fact that he has the more money, it shouldn't really be about who has the more money. But these are the society we find ourselves in different times.
But in Nigeria, it's the men that take the wife, take the children. Don't you see, Fanny? What's his name? FFK.
Of course, and that's because they have money. But that's not necessary. It's not to say that they have the best interest of the capability.
He does not even allow the woman to feed the children. He doesn't allow the
FFK, the bankroller. Do you know who I am, Minister?
And I never saw another king.
Yeah, sing the new wife. We don't sing the new wife.
You don't see another one again. Another beauty queen.
Like we can't finish with those ones if we start today. But another thing that we don't see, you know, sometimes we can be sentimental, and it might not really. I'm not talking about any gender. I'm just telling you from being someone who grew up in our place and lived in the Western world. We can be sentimental at times, and it also has a link with the things we've been through, all this colonialism and abuse and growing up in a harsh environment sometimes, is that we don't read in between the lines. We just carry sentiments, and sometimes it overwhelms us. Let me not say it blinds us, it overwhelms us and we'll see. Another thing that we also don't take away from the cost systems, it's not just about the woman or something like that, but also they're considering economic factors. What will bring more money to the table of their society? For instance, if you go to the court now, most times they will first give, the person with a lawyer will be heard first before you that is not being a lawyer, because they're considering who is putting more money in the system. And sometimes our people don't grab these things. So most times they'll be like, okay, if the woman will bring more money into the system and of course take care of the, child in one way or the other, maybe it's best we have the woman take care of the, so sometimes they don't say these things. It's not spelled out, but it's all hidden in the system. So these are the few points I have to
Very
put
good
into
point,
this.
my dear.
I'm really happy to be a part of this program. I really appreciate your time, Sister Bree. God bless you. And continue
Thank you.
the good work.
God bless you. Thank you, my love. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Sure.
Come on, okay. Sisters. Remember, so I'm going to close the show.
Almost 4 hours. Yes, these people are still stingy. 335 people here only do like.
You know what time there for UK? It's after 11.
After 11, yeah, you've been sitting there for so long.
Final point.
Last point.
From Ella of the Common Sense Sisters.
Ella.
So I see a lot of men saying African women, they inherit, they collect the values of the Western world. Please, what are the Western values? What do you know about the Western people? And these Western people, what do you categorize them as? Do you just see white people and call them Westerners? Do you know that white people also have culture? The Scottish culture is different from somebody that is from England. A Californian person is different from someone that is from Texas. An Italian is different from a Frenchman. So when you want to talk about culture, don't think the way white people don't know the African culture. Don't think that you also know what their culture is. And don't think to say, oh, Western people.
Sakamusa say, respect your husband. Don't be arrogant because of welfare. What is enough? Real women not even there on welfare. If you say a real woman that is on welfare, she's not a real woman. What do you do for welfare? I beg, forget. Think it's everyone that is on welfare. Real women, welfare.
Saka, I don't know when you join the live, but maybe you go check Madam Kelly story. When you check Madam Kelly's story, finish.
Come back and correct yourself.
Come and correct yourself. Because Madam Kelly's story, where do everything possible for 24 years.
Was giving her salary to her husband. Yes, you must.
When I end, I don't go. I just want to make chip and that one in.
So the final ending be say, please collect common sense from many people here that have come to share their story and their suggestion. And also, if you are a modernist, look for a modernist. Those who put label on people that have chosen to say the right thing, or people that have chosen to see every human being as equal. Yes. If you are a traditionalist, don't come. I don't hear man when they tell me say, "Oh, you are a modern traditionalist." Or guy, it's either you are a traditionalist or you are not a traditionalist. If you are a traditionalist, that's fine. Just look for a woman that aligns with your values. Very important, as Modi Watoka, aligns with your values. If you're a modern person, look for someone that aligns with your value. Don't go and shook your eye. Say this Pemperempe lady, she's a doctor. Oh my gosh, she's doing so well. But the problem that she's not submissive.
So that they will say, I have your kind at home. She's a doctor.
Yes, don't do that. Be attracted to your own kind. Don't put your eye on another person, another kind that doesn't suit into your own value system, and then try to abuse them or undermine them. That's all we have to say. And thank you so much, Auntie B, for being on this live session for over 3 hours. They don't the open Canadian border for £10 wine come. But when you come now, when you come this side now,
I feel relaxed. I feel relaxed. You know, it was my birthday last week, so now my daughter come surprise me yesterday with a home massage. Me no even know. I don't know. I swear. The woman just show up. He don't give me massage. I just did how the massage me as a show. See this guy.
You are blessed.
But if you see now, as you be good mother when raise speaking way guess.
Honestly, it shocked me. I said, when you arrange this, he said you deserve it. You deserve it. You do so much. You deserve it.
You see,
I almost want to cry. Honestly.
You're already a made woman. You are a made mother. Even when your sons come on the show, we can see it, and that's why they are even able to share you to say, okay, mommy, you can go and do live show with your Obodo So we appreciate you for allowing you to be able to come at this time after work to come and do all this show. Thank you very much. Robo say Wakobi Rokito Dei.
Thank you. Bye. Yo, bye-bye. Thank you. So, my people, we've been here for 3.5 hours. Going for, I've never done a live show so long before. My people, I think we've learned one or two things. Those who will be catching this live stream later, they have a lot of education. This is an educative vlog. Me, I'm just going to end by saying, I think we can do better. We can do better as a community. Like a lot of people rightly said, this system is not designed for us. Yeah. Amadou Head said that men have a lot of stories to tell. So absolutely. Yeah. Men have stories to tell. Women have stories to tell. That's the truth. Let's not try to be competing for who the system favor, who the system no favor. Just do better. Everybody can do better. Whether you're there with your children, mama, or you know there with them, the point is try to be involved in your children's life. It is very, very important. And some of you African brothers, where they come here, beg. We don't already establish, say the system is not made for us. So now they look for fault with the system. Because if you want to stay for where the system is designed for you, go back to Africa. But once you're there here, you need to get on with the program. Get on with the program. No, they look for excuses. Oh, that they use the system against me. Oh, the Igbo people system no favor black people. You no favor black man. You no favor black woman. But they try to find a way to navigate them so that we go do better. So now about parenting, I lead to this one, and I won't end by saying, I beg, mokuna they include our children for our life. Oh, take care of your children. Do not neglect your children, because remember, MK Abiola was the richest man in Nigeria at some point. You didn't hear of MK Abiola again? No, you know we hear of MK Abiola. Who did they talk about? Nana Kola Abiola and other children. And did they talk about? So your children are your legacy. So call your children. Yeah, I'm going to end with Tony Babalola. He said, brothers, please sit down. Do better. Call your kids tomorrow. Be kind to their mothers. Love your children. Love your children. Tell them you love them. Embrace them. Hug them. Spend money on them. They are your future. I'm going to end there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I appreciate you all so, so much. And yeah, we're just going to bring it to an end now, because it's been a very, very long one. And I've had a really fantastic time. Thank you, guys. Have a very good evening. And I shall speak to you in my next video. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks to everyone that have given me a super chat. Please give me a like. If you cannot give super chat, give me a like. Come on, sisters. I too they enjoy now. Not too correct. Not too correct. God bless you all. Thank you. Have a good evening. I love you.